Ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners, I'm your host, Alexander Rodriguez, here with On the Rocks radio show, where celebrities and cocktails mix. Tonight, we have a very special doubleheader with kick-ass ladies who kick ass on TV with my kick-ass co-host. We have Broadway baby and TV star Carly Gibson is here from TBS's The Guest Book, Amazon's One Mississippi. Start binging watching them, and you're going to call in sick to work. You're just going to watch these shows. Of course, she was in Broadway on Hairspray as Tracy Turnblad, Pepper in Crybaby the Musical, with guest co-host, on-air personality Ryan Black. Then we have Bravo TV's The Real Housewives of New Jersey, OG, Danielle Staub is here, with celebrity hairstylist Brandon Liberati. And me, your favorite host, with the deepest voice. So raise a glass and let the games begin.
And most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you live, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Oh, Lord. Buttons and bows and pantyhose. This is On the Rocks, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. I have come to... Yeah, right? That's the way to start.
Okay.
Yes. That's how we're doing it, Carly Gibson.
All right.
Came to a realization, and I wish I'd have come to this sooner. I thought that eating tacos was cheating on my diet. It turns out being on a diet is cheating on my tacos.
It depends on what kind of tacos you're talking about.
I was going to say.
None of these vegetarian tacos. No.
We don't
You're eating tacos?
Yeah, we don't do the vegan tacos.
No, I mean, it's like, why bother? It's like, this is meatless turkey. Go turkey yourself.
Yeah.
But if you don't eat the tacos, it's insulting my Latin ancestors.
I wasn't talking about that kind of taco meat.
Oh, we know. Ryan's a fan of the Latino. Yes. In fact, we have one of your Instagram
Just
pictures.
one.
It says like Taco Boy or something. I pulled that from your Instagram.
I am a Mexican food connoisseur.
Oh.
Yes, he has sampled every Mexican food.
Oh, what does that entail?
Tamale Boy. There it is. Look, that's the picture that we pulled, Ryan. You got to be careful when you're on the show because I will pull pictures.
Oh my God!
I have a picture of you and the
not
dolphins.
safe. No, you do
Yes,
not.
I do.
I will murder your whole
there
family
it
for that.
is.
Okay, that one's okay.
Yes.
Don't.
It's so cute, you
Oh
guys.
my God.
You guys look so adorable.
You guys, I have the biggest trust issues, just like in general. Ask my boyfriend, but like I have a thing about big animals and
In
and
the
just
water.
basically anything that can kill you. And so you go into this tank and it's like 40 feet deep and it gets dark down there. And any given time there's like 16 dolphins
that's
swimming
so
around
scary
you.
to me.
And so they were like, "Oh, you guys just like get in a line," which first of all is hard to do in the water.
Yeah.
They're like, they wouldn't let him come by until we all got in a line. And I was like, "Well, Sally can't get it together." She's like an old lady, like trying to get her shit together, like this life vest that didn't fit any of us. And so it was like a one size fits. I mean, look at that life vest. It's like it stops in the middle of my tits.
I just looked like the look on your face and then...
But I was like, this is happening. And I was just surprised that it wasn't killing me. And
But
it
you
was,
had a great time though, right? It was a good experience.
It was magical. I mean, they're like dinosaur water unicorns. They're incredible.
And they're so nice. They're Broadway fans.
They're big.
They do love their... They're
serve
the gay animal of the sea. Let's be honest. They're dolphins.
They really
dolphins.
and
Yeah.
They're like gay sharks.
Yeah.
and they serve a good porpoise.
Punny. That was punny AF.
I think the gay shark was...
No, how dare you with that? Don't encourage him.
You know what? You cannot get away with a punny when you stutter on it.
See,
Yeah, that
that's
was
so
rough.
true. Do you
It's
know how many
okay.
jokes I've ruined because I get so excited that I want to get to the finish line and I mess it up?
I know. I
done it too.
interrupted both of you just to give you that horribly stuttered.
And we all paused. We're like,
gonna get
wait
it back.
for it. And I'm
I
like,
have
Carly,
faith in
wait for
you.
this. This is my Ryan co-host. And then I was like,
You're going to get it back.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
I am
He will.
dad
get it back.
joke central.
Okay.
Well, okay, we're going to get to this because that's Kurt's only job here. Thank you to our sober listeners for tuning in. We love you. Thank you for holding our hair back, driving us home. Drunk texting is literally the only sport that I excel at. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Universal Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Of course, we are on Facebook Live, on Trending Now in San Diego, True FM in Ohio, and nationally on
Ohio.
On the Rocks, Ohio.
Hey, squirrel.
It's
Hey.
round on both sides and high in the middle.
You guys,
Yes,
are you
Ohio.
cold AF in Ohio right now? Like, is anyone
Probably
alive?
are, yeah.
It's
Is
like
anyone out there?
-18. Somebody
is
did a comparison.
so cool.
It's -22 in Antarctica and it's -18.
You better just pronounce every
Yes,
letter
I
in
know,
that
he's
fucking
so
word.
excited.
Antarctica.
I was getting really nervous.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming up, and then
It
I
was
was
so
like,
pageant of you.
It was.
Antarctica.
And world peace.
and I failed voice and diction. Can you
You
imagine?
did?
Yes.
Yeah, I could see it. 'Cause
You didn't
have
fail
your
anybody's
own
dick.
diction.
I hated it.
refuse
Have you
to
seen that
accept
chair is
that.
barely keeping it alive right now?
I didn't fail diction.
Oh my God, this is a classy show, y'all, for all
Is
those
it?
hairspray
Then you
fans.
shouldn't have had me on.
Oh.
My Lanta, that's real.
Also, nationally on the rocks in Bear World Magazine. Check out my weekly Bear World Magazine movie news, movie reviews, and of course my celebrity interviews. And now we're on video. Kurt, we have to film that after we're done here.
Oh, I've
forgot.
seen that video, girl.
Yeah.
It's going around.
Yeah. Well, because I talk candidly about my opinions of entertainment. I don't care.
Oh, not
know.
that video.
No, there's nothing like that. I'm the biggest
no.
prude when it comes to
Like,
that.
I rebuke you in
No.
the name of
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's like,
No.
send me a T-shirt pic. I'm like, oh, how dare you?
I'm real paranoid that somebody's
I'm so
actually
paranoid.
taking a video. Like,
Oh, a video.
there's
well,
so many ways that you can take a
know.
video now.
Yeah, but
I
I don't.
know.
I want to send like a pic to somebody. That's what I'm paranoid at. I won't. I don't care if we're getting married. You still won't get a pic from me.
Like, I hope to
Yeah,
God
and-
somebody never.
Yeah.
I hope to God someone never films me while I'm talking to AT&T customer service. I know.
Oh my God. That is
They're
a
not a
universal problem. I have had my own conversations with AT&T. Why do we put up with it? AT&T, you suck. We all know it.
I
Awful.
become the most curmudgeon-y, like, just, this is what's wrong with America, just mad at everything.
And we take it out on the person. And it's like all they did was answer the phone. They're making
Yeah.
minimum wage. They didn't program our
No.
TV.
Well, but I've got to counter that because I've been with T-Mobile for like 15 years, like ever since cell phones were invented, and I've never
I had a
left them
beeper, you
because
guys.
they're always so nice.
well,
Like,
that's good.
How do they
Shout out T-Mobile.
Yeah,
No,
seriously.
they haven't paid for any sponsorships.
T-Mo.
T-Mo.
No, their like CEO is like totally innovative and like.
Plus, didn't they
he's-
come out with the Sidekick? And that was like, remember the
Sidekick?
Sidekick? I had one.
We can't decide if flip phones are cool or not. Remember when they first came out? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, is that a flip phone? Because we had the slider, and then it was
Yeah.
just like, whatever. And then they were cool again, and then now they're not.
It's the drama.
iPhone's gonna have a
I miss
a
the
flip.
BlackBerry. I'm not gonna lie.
I miss my
the
BlackBerry.
Out of my BlackBerry.
so much.
I used to. I was a
Yeah.
beast on that thing.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
mean, only
I need
rich
to-
celebrities had Blackberries. Remember when it
Right,
first
right,
came
right,
out,
right,
and
right.
then all of a sudden it was like Blackberry.
Yeah.
Real fast on Bear World Magazine this week, I talk about sequels. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is coming next year. What? Ghostbusters 3. Even though Ernie Hudson hasn't heard anything from the producers, but they're going ahead with it. Princess Diaries 3 is on with Julie Andrews and Anne Hathaway. Aquaman 2 is already finishing its script. Wonder Woman 3 is already starting development, and Jay and Silent Bob reboot got picked up.
What about Black Panther 2?
Yeah, that's coming
already
back,
done.
right?
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Is
Hello.
it done though? It's
Yeah,
already in the can.
The script is already being pretty much polished off.
And
The whole
Avatar,
cast-
why is it taking them 400 years to make?
Because it's James Cameron, and the script probably sucks.
Oh, I love those movies. They're so good.
Okay, everybody says they love Avatar. When's the last time you actually watched it?
I watched it like 2 months ago. I
Oh.
love it. Sigourney
Oh.
Weaver giving me that red top and like, yes.
Yes, we love Sigourney Weaver.
I mean,
Speaking of bitches who kick ass, Angelica Houston was in The Witches. Did you guys remember that movie?
No.
Jim Henson. You guys have to watch this movie. Hardly anybody knows.
You
Kurt,
lost me at
do you
Jim
know?
Henson.
Yeah. Oh, but Angelica Houston.
I love the Muppets. Don't get me wrong, but
But
Jim
it's
Henson
not Muppet.
movies-
It's his like gory whatever. Angelica Houston plays
It's
the
like I've
Grand
heard of
High
this.
Witch, and it's witches that turn children into mice to eat them, and I love it. Anyway, they're doing the reboot. Robert Zemeckis is coming out of the woodworks to do it, and Anne Hathaway is taking over for Angelica Houston.
Anne Hathaway.
you guys, can we
Oh, Why
just
can't
can we
that bitch
talk
go
for
away?
a second? Can we
Yes.
talk for a second? Garrett and I, my boyfriend and I have this conversation all the time.
He's
like,
so cute, by the
I'm
way.
on the train. I'm on the train because she bugs me too, right? But I can't figure out
bugs
why.
me. I
but
can't either.
she did
Oh, okay.
nothing wrong. She is
I
beautiful.
Dreamed a Dream?
She did. She
is-
hosted the Oscars. That's what she did wrong.
But like, I don't think. But
She thought she was
because
Fontaine. That's what she did wrong.
because she tried to do something and maybe in your opinion was or wasn't successful. But like
I
it's subjective. But because she like puts herself out there and she tries to do her best
Yeah.
work, we just like hate her for it.
No, but you always know she's
I
acting.
feel
She's always one of those like
awful
she's like a
for
cheerleader
her.
actress where she's like, I'm acting.
She's probably
I'm-
the nicest fucking bitch ever.
She's supportive of the
Yeah.
LGBT community,
Right?
so
she
yes.
apparently is very nice.
She's damned if she does and damned if
I'm
she
with
doesn't.
you, girl, and
Because
I've
even
been-
in Ocean's 8, when she was like
Yeah.
trying to be a she's like,
Yeah.
fine, this is what you want me to be. I didn't buy it because I was like, I bet
didn't buy
you're
it.
not
She's
this
like-
mean.
Yeah.
She was having everybody sign her yearbook at Ocean's 11.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. I'm on your same team. I'm listening to Oprah's Soulful podcast right now.
Just trying to like be less of a judgmental person
Yeah,
and like
trying to like.
2019,
Yeah.
like let's just shed all of that
Okay,
negativity.
well then let's just talk about this. We were going to save it for later in the show. Fox just did Rent Live.
Yeah, I
on
have things to
Fox.
say about that.
Okay, so since we're talking about being judgmental, here's my thing. It's okay if you don't love something that your friend is in. That's a musical. That's on TV. I get that new audiences are seeing pieces that they should. I get that. But when we're making our own social media comments on our own social media that you can click like or dislike or follow or unfollow, you don't have to say it's amazing. You don't have to say it's good.
Right.
And we should be challenging each other to say, hey, I saw your show. Not my favorite performance.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad you did it. And you challenged yourself. Didn't quite work for me. Boom. It's your ass.
Here's why it's problematic.
Okay.
Because that show for each one of us, for whoever you were and however old you were and whatever small town you were living in at the time, that was a show that individually touched and changed and was a catharsis in all of our lives. And when you see something, in that we feel like we own a piece of it, like it's ours, and we want to protect it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when it gets passed on to a younger generation, like these kids, some of them weren't even born when it came out, die in a fire. But like when that happens, you want to share it, you want it, but you also want it to maintain that same zeal and effect that it had on you.
And grit.
It's just right. And it just won't. And it was problematic from the beginning because when you have it on a network like that and you're going to have to tone some things down, I was kind of okay with that. I was the biggest problem I had with it was lyric changes, and not just lyric changes that said fuck,
Or
like
dildo.
actual lyric changes. Like when he says in We'll See Boys, like, you want to produce in films and write songs, you need somewhere to do it. It's what we used to dream about. Think twice before you poo-poo it. They changed it to, you want to produce films and write songs, you need somewhere to protect it. It's what we used to dream about. Think twice before you reject it. And I thought, that's not your place to rewrite that.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, well, that's a weird, maybe the kids will laugh at poo-poo or whatever.
Especially when the creator is no longer with us.
That felt really bastardized to me. I was like, that's not yours to touch.
Yeah,
you want
I
to change
agree.
fuck to damn or whatever, that's fine. But compromising the integrity of the lyrics because you think you've got a better fucking idea of what it should be, that felt really disrespectful.
Yeah.
IJS.
That's
what the kids tell me that means. I'm just saying.
Radio silence, because that was really good. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I don't I have so many friends that are in theater, so it's so hard for me to criticize something like Rent on my feed because I care about them, and I care about I honestly care about what they think, and I care about their feelings. And I had a personal friend in the
This
show,
is not the
so
industry
I don't
to have feelings.
Yes, well. Yes and no. I will agree with you on that.
I
but
think you can be
but
both.
when you're on your personal feed, there's no. I feel like for me, there's no need for me to put that bad feeling out there towards my friend because I wouldn't say it to her face.
But here's the thing, to combat what you're saying about my personal, it is yours and it isn't yours. It's a public platform that we all know that it's a way to get visibility and make your voice louder.
Right,
That's
but
by
I
definition,
follow Carly
that's what
Gibson
it
on
is.
Instagram. I follow Carly Gibson on Twitter.
But at the
if
end of
you
the
say
day,
something I don't like, I can click off.
Exactly. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if people don't like what I have to say. Like, here, I'm always going to say what I want to say. It's either for you or it's not. And if it's not, I get it. We could still be friends in real life. And I have plenty of people in my life who don't like my political views.
Right.
And so, or they think it's extreme or they think whatever. So we're just not friends on Facebook. And I'm fine with that.
Views like that, I have no problem putting out there.
But
But when it involves someone personally, I'd rather just save my relationship rather than
it's big
give you my
picture at the end of the
opinion.
day, right?
Yeah.
Like, what really matters? Is it
Yeah.
more important to say what you need to say,
Right.
or is it more important to to make your friends' feelings not hurt?
Right.
But I think there's a way to do both. I don't think you shouldn't not be allowed to, and I
Right.
don't think. But just as you're critiquing something, you're going to be critiqued for your critique, right?
Every
and
day,
that's
all day.
just sort
Let me
of.
ask you this though. So here's how I look at these different platforms. Like Twitter, I feel so brave to say whatever I want.
I get where you're going with this.
I'm not mean.
Not
but
everybody
I feel-
uses Twitter
but
correctly.
I feel no. It's like I'm not even great at Twitter, but I feel so brave in Twitter. In Facebook, I feel like
because your family's there and your grandpa doesn't know how to use Twitter.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. In Facebook, I feel like I'm in a theater and I'm being watched. And then
Every
in
generation is
Instagram-
using Facebook on some level.
Instagram is like a weird, maybe
like hippie sort of.
Nobody cares what
It's
you
not
say.
interactive. It's like I see your picture. I'm like, oh, that's
Well,
great.
you're not
but I
saying
don't-
as much on Instagram. You're just like showing pictures, you
Yeah.
know, and you can put something below, but like
Yeah.
who reads that?
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly
interesting what these different platforms
But you're right.
do for your different parts of your brain, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
It's
absolutely.
so different, and as entertainment people, we know how we have to be on each of those platforms
Yeah.
to get the likes, to get shares,
Right.
all that. So, but you guys are being very like nice and friendship wise about like posting about rent.
Oh, I don't
Right.
think so. I don't. Here's the thing. I think you're allowed to say. I mean, I saw tons of people being critical, and then I saw people being like, "Why are we critical? This
Yeah.
is we're creating a
I got
bad
attacked.
dialogue, and like this is all of a sudden." I was like, "No, we're not." I mean, listen,
Yeah.
you can feel however you want to feel about it. Art is meant to be subjective. It touches everybody differently and invokes a different feeling in all of us, and you're allowed to express that. You don't agree, you don't agree. But we have come to some sort of thing that's like, if you're not for me, you're against me. That's just a mentality in general
That's
that we've
interesting.
adapted
That's our
as a
climate right now.
generation.
Yeah.
If you're not for me, you are against
really
me. And we're not
interesting.
allowed to think differently about fucking anything, including a live fucking musical.
That's
Like, it's
really true.
become that combative. It's so ridiculous to me. So I'm like, let people think and feel. If you're somebody who didn't want to, okay. I'm not like pussy. If you wanted to, I'm not like, what an asshole. I'm like, you chose what you chose. Live your fucking life. That's not my business.
I can offer two criticisms of it.
Just
safely.
do one because we have
Well,
short
one, I'd like to say that hot piece of ass, Brendan Hunt, who
He was wonderful. I thought he was a great Roger.
I thought he was fantastic.
And I wasn't mad that it wasn't live. It is what it is. Although
And then
have
I went-
understudies, it's theater.
And then I went on his Instagram,
See,
and he's
that's-
then I went on his Instagram, and he's like kind of godly and religious and sort of.
That's fine. You can be religious and still hot.
I know, but I judge
and
people
gay.
like that too. I do.
yeah,
I'm
Because
yeah.
so
our
judgmental.
I just
our
didn't
walls are
want it-
raised.
I
Like
just
your
didn't want it
character
to
in
be so
One
godly.
Mississippi, that dinner scene where we first found out that your character was like, "Oh, I don't believe in dinosaurs." I'm like, my whole connection with you and my joy of the exuberance and your character being so wonderfully
Yeah, as soon
delicious.
as you found out she was a Jesus freak, you're like, God damn it.
It put me.
It hurt you a little bit.
It raised my walls, and then it went further. It's like, oh, she chose to be gay because she looks like that. My whole experience with your character totally changed, and this is. I was so reflective on One Mississippi, and I cannot believe that Amazon canceled it because they wanted to be more mainstream. Bitches, whatever.
Amazon can suck it.
Yeah.
And you know what, Amazon? You're really sucking at the deliveries while we're at it because they're delivering to
They
all
had
kinds
the
of
holidays, whatever.
No. But wait, you segued into One Mississippi
No,
when we were
because-
talking
but
about
what she's saying
Broadway,
is that
and
it's
she's like a
one
huge
way-
Broadway performer.
No, I know.
I get she's now
We're
a
gonna talk,
famous
but believe
actress.
it, you
but
guys, we haven't even gotten to the thank you to our sponsor. But real fast.
Is
but I
it
wanna
over
say,
already?
No. But I'm going to say, but your comment about it's either this or it's that. You're right, and that was my experience in watching that character
Right.
that I thought was going to be my best friend that I wanted to hang out
We're
with.
all guilty of it, though. It really is, and I think it's anytime something, you're on board to a certain point until something like that it just makes you get you're skeptical. You know what I mean? And things like that, things like religion, things like politics. Those are the things. Those are my kind of red flags with people because my past experience has led me to feel one way or another. But that's like as we evolve, as we grow up, we're supposed to like become more open-minded. That's like it's supposed to be the whole thing, but like, and I'm trying, but it is very hard. But that was the thing, like with One Mississippi, I tried to approach that because it was so hard, right? Like she's a Jesus freak, she's very anti-gay. That's like couldn't be further from me.
Well,
I'm
obviously,
I'm
yeah.
the Antichrist.
It's so different from the guest book, by the way.
and so, but I thought, you know what? I know this woman because I grew up in the South, and I was like, these women. It's not that you're making allowances for them, but they know what they know. They know the world to be it as they know it. Their exposure levels are very low to people like this, especially in positive experiences. And they believe that book because that is what makes them feel safe. And so their intentions might be good, but their education is low. Their experience is low. Their exposure is low. So what I wanted to do was to make sure that I portrayed her in a way that didn't feel disrespectful, like I was trying to shit on those people or villainize those people in any way, but to make her relatable and be like, look,
You totally did that, too.
she has good intentions. She only knows what she knows, and this is the world that she lives in until she becomes exposed to it. And it would have been more fun to explore in other
that's what I
seasons
wanted.
what that relationship with Tig would have been like as time
I
went on.
love that you saw it that way, though.
Yeah.
Like, I love that you just explained it that way because as I said, I've been listening to Oprah's Soulful podcast. And
She's so relatable.
She just had
With her goddamn frozen pieces that she's never eaten.
No, she
Don't be mad,
just
it's Oprah.
literally had. She's doing this whole Eckhart Tolle thing, and he was just talking about this, about how, we're right now in society, we're playing hate against hate.
Yeah.
It's really not, we're not really exposing what we truly are believing, because we're hating so much.
Right.
Because we're not putting ourselves in others' shoes.
Right.
We're not seeing other people for what they are and what they've been exposed to.
Yeah.
So when you say, she didn't know any better, because she hasn't been shown any better.
Right. And it is, I do think, our responsibility to give those people it's no different. So I grew up in a town in Muskegon that it was been on the map as one of the 10 most segregated cities in America, right? There's literally a highway called Seaway Drive that separates the white community from the black community. Wow. And when I go home and I see this just racial divide and all of it's so tumultuous and it's so angry, it's so heated, and it's just like on the brink of this like terrible, outbreak of possibly like a civil war or whatever, I get really frustrated because I live in a bubble. I lived in New York, I live in Los Angeles, and I live in this very liberal bubble where I'm like jarred by that reality. I'm like, God, how are you guys still living like this? I feel very judgmental when I go home. I'm like, you guys are in the fucking dark ages,
Right.
like get with it. But then I look, I'm like, these people have the exposure and the experience that they do. This is what they know, and they're all really afraid on both sides. And fear is a very difficult emotion to let anything else other than anger break through, because anger is the armor that covers fear, right? So
Oh my God.
Harley, where's your TED Talk, by the way?
Why aren't you on Oprah's Soulful Podcast?
Oh my God, I
you
want to
guys.
be on Oprah.
The first musical TED Talk.
Oh my God.
Oh my
does that
God.
work?
It's like a one-woman show that's a TED Talk, and then you sing.
I mean, fine, produce it.
Yeah, okay, done.
That's a horrible
Done.
idea.
Okay, no, I think it's amazing. The first ever musical
up,
TED Talk.
we're doing it.
The only thing I want to say about the live on musicals, and I'm a proponent of get the best actor for the job, and that's why the whole Scarlett Johansson playing the
Okay,
trans
Angel,
character.
that was
that's
what
a whole
that's
other
what did
thing.
it for me. That did it for
that
me.
pissed me
Right.
off. That was my one critique.
And I got a lot of hate email because I said Scarlett should have done it because the movie was going to get told and she was the best actress, or find me another A-lister trans actor, which they're not there right now. We have a lot of work to do, and I get that. But the best actor for the job should be, it's called acting. The best singer-performer should have been cast in Rent Live.
It is a
Exactly.
very difficult
Stunt
role.
casting.
It was stunt casting. It's a very complicated role. She has to sing high. She has to play those drums.
She has to rap.
Angel is the heart and soul
And
of
I'm
Rent.
not just
right?
talking about Angel either.
No, but Angel is the heart and soul of Rent. That is she's
Yes.
what brings them together. She's what keeps them together
Yeah.
even after
Yes,
her passing. And
totally.
so that is such an important character. And I felt very let down by that, just because I was like,
It was
it
stunt
felt
casting for somebody that's known
it
to not
felt
be
irresponsible.
sincere.
Like, I know that sounds almost like really elitist, but it felt irresponsible to be like, you didn't
yeah.
take care of this character, and you should
Jonathan
have.
Larson would have said no in 2 seconds.
I mean,
No, when I thought that they knew something that I didn't know, because I was like, first of all, how do you know that she has this talent? And then, obviously they had
she's
her
a
audition.
huge following.
No, I know she has over
I think this might
1.2
have-
million followers on Instagram
Right, but
alone.
this actually put a
And she's
speed
a fierce
bump
queen.
in her
I'm
career.
not taking
Yeah.
away
But
from her
it is
actual talent.
disgusting.
I'm just
This
saying
is disgusting.
she wasn't
I'm not
good
going
at
to
this.
go do a modeling contest tomorrow.
But
neither am I.
I'm gonna do.
But this kind of shit,
Stay in your lane.
This kind of shit has to stop.
It
When
does.
you
Right.
don't, when you don't have heart. I'm not saying that she doesn't have heart. I'm sure that
Well,
she's no.
scientifically
I'm
it was
not gonna
proven
speak
there's
on
no
that.
heart there.
No. Let's because we don't know her. But what
I
I'm
think
saying
she
is-
tried. I
what I'm
think she
saying
really
is
tried. I just don't
you-
think it was at par of a level that should have been where I just don't think it was good enough.
Listen.
That's just
like,
my
coming
opinion.
from I'm
Be best.
a veteran. You're a veteran. We spent years and years and years trying to perfect a craft so that we can be the best we can possibly be for people who spend $300 for a seat.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. You guys, this isn't a participation sport. Broadway is not a
Yeah.
fucking participation sport. You don't get a ribbon for showing up and trying really
It's
hard.
hard
That's not
fucking
what this
work.
industry is. It is about being the best. Like, I'm sorry to say that because I know everybody wants to be like, well, isn't trying half the battle?
No.
it
No,
isn't.
it's
Not in
not.
an industry where you have to perform live, where you're singing and you're dancing
Yeah.
and you have years of training.
And you're
and
against 10 other people that look just like you.
you do not
She
get
didn't
a
have
gold
the
star
she didn't
for
have the
trying
false-
hard.
She didn't have the falsetto. She didn't have the vibrato.
But
she
even
didn't
the
have,
chemistry.
She didn't have. She didn't have the pitch.
I was just mad about the flat, like the.
It was awful.
I was just mad.
was
I was
so-
mad, and I love Valentina. I'm a huge Valentina fan
Me too.
outside of this.
And what
Like,
she does.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. She's a fierce queen.
Yeah.
She's fucking beautiful. But
This is what I wanted to say on Facebook.
No.
But I just couldn't say it.
Okay, real fast.
Couldn't say it. But oddly, I feel safe saying it here.
say it.
It's on the rocks.
just
But we're
said it.
known for talking, and see, your fans get to see you in a different light. They get to hear this kind of conversation that we should be having instead of attacking each other on Facebook. This is what should be happening.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's probably why, is because on Facebook, if I say something, I know that it's just going to be an endless myriad of like odd opinions that never get interpreted correctly because nobody people see
And some
different
people have
things.
too much time, by the way.
When you're reading something, they see like they just pull out what the
Well, and there's
whatever the
such a
fuck they wanna
fine
pull
line
out.
between perception and intention.
Yeah. Totally.
And it gets so
Like
fucking
if I
muddled.
text you
and-
something, or I'm saying
I
something,
honestly
yeah.
come from love, and I don't
Right.
mean Valentina.
But anybody that
any
actually knows
negative-
you
Same.
knows that there's not a mean bone in your body.
No, there really isn't.
So they would know that's what you're saying.
I'm coming from love, but I just find it's just so frustrating when we live in such a very competitive world.
Yeah.
When there are people out there working their asses off
Who really
and then
deserve
you
a shot,
choose
maybe
someone-
because they don't have
you-
1.1 million followers
yeah,
on
you
Instagram.
choose someone simply because they have over a
But there's
million
also the
followers.
business side. Who's writing the check to say this is going to happen?
And I get it too. And they have to listen. They need to make sure to ensure that they have ratings. And I get it, but I don't know. At the end of the day, was the compromise worth it? That's for them to answer.
Yeah.
You guys, this could be like a whole show. Carly Gibson, whatever church you're starting, I'm a part of it. Call it the Bitches of Nazareth, and I am in. Okay, a big shout out to our sponsor, Vista Grinda Resort, an oasis in the oasis of Palm Springs. 29 rooms, over 1 acre of land, with rooms ranging from 250 square feet to the luxurious full apartment that I stay in when I visit. 2 pools, a lagoon, and a waterfall. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner served to you. And you get to meet people from all over. It's an amazing resort. There's even a steam room where you can meet the other guests.
I want to go. I've never been to Palm Springs.
You haven't?
No, can you believe
my
that?
God. Girl.
I know, and I'm like,
We're taking you to Palm Springs.
I want to go so bad. Everybody
John,
keeps telling me, like,
John.
how have you never been to Palm
We're
Springs?
going to do an On the Rocks. Kurt, pack your bags. Anyway, go to VistaGrandeResort.com to book your stay. Okay. Los Angeles Blade. Thank you to the Los Angeles Blade. I was named runner-up as Best of LA local TV personality.
Yes.
I'm runner-up to James Corden, by the way. Yes, girl. So,
I have a huge problem with
I
this.
know. So if he gets pushed down the stairs, I have to assume my duties as Best of Queen.
I don't understand
It's
it.
LGBT and allies, so he's James Corden.
No,
I just think we should be put in a different position. I mean,
Yes, why? There's no...
He's another one people love to hate. I hear
No,
people
no,
hate
I
on
love
him
him.
all the
I've never
time.
heard
I
anything
love him.
bad about
Really?
him.
Oh, I hear people like hate on him all the time, and I'm like, I
why?
think he's kind of quirky
No,
and
I
fun.
love
Yeah.
James Corden, but here's
He
my
doesn't
problem.
try to be anything. He just is.
The title was Best LGBT
Right.
Personality.
Right. And you're not gay.
It
you're
changed because
married.
it was Best of LA, and then they added Best of LA LGBT.
But
semantics.
Yeah.
but it's a gay magazine.
I know what they were doing. Because they put local people. I mean, how am I going to be on the same level as James Corden?
It's the same situation though, where they're trying.
But they thought
to
that maybe
draw
the
in-
studio would have thrown money, or he would have shown up. Anyway, okay. Anyway,
Did
but
he
thank
show
you. No, I was.
Can you hear this?
I wasn't even there. Yes.
Can you hear this?
All right, theater hands, since we're talking about musical theater, if you are in Southern California, run, don't walk. Tickets are selling out for Sweeney Todd at South Coast Rep in Orange County.
Love
this
Sweeney
is the
Todd.
Oh my God, this is the 7th time that South Coast Rep has produced a Stephen Sondheim musical. This production is done. That was my audition for Chapman University, except I did an original key.
We're trying to show off in front of Carly. But.
E flat. It's done with 11 amazing actors. It's a diverse cast, so I'm actually going to see it on Thursday. It runs until
Starring
February
Valentina.
16th. Yeah, right. As the beggar woman.
As Sweeney Todd.
Arms for my career. Anyway, go to scr.org to get your tickets. I will share more next week after I see it. Our website has been updated. You don't need to go anywhere else to find the show. OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. You can see all the videos. You can listen to it at the gym, in the car. Mama Rose is in the chat room
On the
UPN.
car.
On the car.
Anytime
Not
you're
in
on
the
your car,
When
just
I
doing
take an
like a
Uber-
white snake video moment,
It's just
put
like
it on
you
in the
said you
background.
were in the Broadway.
Yes, in
the
the Broadway,
Broadway.
on Hairspray.
In the
I
Broadway.
cracked that in the beginning too, and I was like, I was inside it.
Fake news, you guys.
He
No,
lives in you.
when I go That was last week.
Is that racial appropriation? I never know anymore.
Right? But when the Uber says, you can sit up front, I'm like, no, bitch, I'm sitting on the roof. Mama Rose is in the chat room on ubngo.com and Facebook. Ask her a question. She's done her research. If it's a burning question, she will ask it to me, and I'll announce it on the air. Kurt, real fast, do you have your pun? This is Kurt's spotlight. Got to give straight people some time in the theater.
Yeah, come on.
Real fast, Kurt. Pun.
Okay, so my wife asked me to wear a skirt. I must admit, I killed it.
Sorry.
Do you have a wife, though?
Yes.
Okay, good.
They have stuff.
Otherwise, that got really sad. No, I was curious. Because it's always like you tell jokes first person.
No. Kurt's wife is amazing. They do Harry Potter role play in the bedroom.
Oh, some cosplay.
Yes. There was one
Are you a
night
Ron
where-
or are you Harry?
Oh, he's pretty hairy.
I am a Weasley, yes.
Oh, you're a Weasley. That's okay.
He's such a
I figured.
Weasley, which is great because he always has my back. There was one night that we partied too much in the green room, and I had to crash at his house with his wife, and she's like, "What the holy hell? Oh, welcome to our abode. Here's your wand." They literally gave me a wand to hold. Anyway, that sounded weird, by the way. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks on Air, Facebook On the Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I will show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. I'm going to get through this real fast. Glitter Bomb. We're not going to go through the whole thing. Glitter Bomb is on TV, broadcasting over 22 million homes. That's a show that I'm co-hosting. Go to latv.com/glitterbomb to find out what channel we are. We don't need to do the whole thing. Want to join On the Rocks on the Road Wednesday, February 6th. I'm guest judge for Spotlight, the drag competition in Palm Springs at Hunter's at 8:30 p.m. with the fabulous Rusty Waters. I get to be a drag race judge, only funny. February 17th, I am a judge for the United States of America beauty pageants in Las Vegas. Toddler, teens, Miss, Ms., and Mrs. If they're doing all of the age ranges.
Can I just follow you around? Because all of those things are up my alley.
I told them, I'm like, I'm going to be an honest judge. I'm not going to be like, great tan. I'm going to be like, are you fried?
Your flipper
Yes,
sucks.
right. So if you're in
like,
Vegas,
I see your lace front.
Yeah.
Pull your edges down.
You're like, I see yours. I'll be like, touche. But I'll be in Vegas on February 17th. So come to the pageant or let's hang out. Send me a message. Let me formally introduce our cast for the night. I'm going to do an abridged version. Ryan, you've been here so many times.
We haven't even been introduced yet?
I know. Ryan's talents are design, acting. He's designed for such notable clients as Elton John, Elizabeth Taylor, Tom Ford, Gucci, several others. He started his career as a lead performer in Broadway musicals, touring all 50 U.S. states and worldwide. He has authored a novel that he's currently editing. He's a contributing writer for Huffington Post. His work as an interior designer was seen on Shaw's of Sunset, making over your good friend and my good acquaintance, Mercedes MJ Javid. Most recently, Ryan hosted his own radio show on Channel Q, produced by Entercom. Look for a possible duet cabaret show. Anyway, welcome, Ryan Black.
Just kidding.
Yay!
That was an abridged version?
Yes. Well,
You're so generous.
you guys, I'm
was
really
amazing.
like that conversation we just had was pretty damn good. Carly Gibson, been waiting for this moment. Carly Gibson can be seen in season 1 and 2 of The Guest Book. She had 2 series airing back to back. The #1 new cable comedy of 2017, The Guest Book by Grey Garcia, My Name is Earl, and Raising Hope, of course, on TBS. And the 100% Rotten Tomatoes scored season 2 of One Mississippi by Tig Notaro, who we love, on Amazon. She has starred on Broadway in Crybaby as Pepper, Hairspray as Tracy Turnblad. In the national tour, she originated the role on the national tour, then came back to Broadway to do it for 2 years.
Yes, Queen.
She co-starred for you locals at Rockwell in Scream with Modern Family Sarah Hyland. She released her debut EP, Best of Me, which you guys, you can hear clips on YouTube. We're actually going to end the show by listening to the track. It's such a departure of what you've heard from her from the musicals. You guys, it is a listen, and it's on iTunes. And of course, you can hear her on the original soundtrack, or original cast album. Sorry, you can't say soundtrack. Crybaby. We've
can't say
waited and
soundtrack?
waited.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and she is here. Welcome, Carly Gibson!
You guys, that
Carly,
was.
we got so many questions for you, and I want to say we're going to ask
Fire 'em
Carly
up.
some of the different questions because you can go on YouTube and see her other interviews where she answers all the same questions. That's not what we do here.
Sometimes I do get interview questions where I'm like, have you ever looked up any other interviews to see if this question's been asked before, or did you just copy and paste those?
Well, but sometimes as an interviewer, like
I have not
your
done
viewers
either.
they should be able to click in to just get the bases covered.
Right.
But that's not what we do here. I just gave you her resume, so I want to talk about, and we got this from a young actress on the CW.
Okay.
She wants to know, you kind of were pulled at such a young age, at the age of 16. Here you are doing a national tour of a role that everybody has seen and lauded on Broadway, Hairspray, hit the scene with such this energy, which I love this energy because it was positive. It gave the message under this whole exuberant. High schools were doing it all over the place. Mainstream audiences were coming to see this message, and they didn't realize the messages that were actually coming through. You being so young, having to take this role on a national tour, by the way, how did your young self even comprehend that? I can't even imagine. And what was the audition like?
I didn't comprehend it, to be honest, and it's actually it's really funny because I first got the call. I had done a regional theater of a world premiere show called Crash Nation. Yep, and it was written by 3 gentlemen from New York: Bill Castellino, Bill Whitefield, and Christopher McGovern. And it was very irreverent. It was like 8 kids. It was like Rent meets Stomp meets Schoolhouse Rock, but it was like
13. That movie. Did you remember that movie?
Yes,
13?
yes. And it was like 8 kids, 4 boys, 4 girls, all the ages of 16 to 21, and we dealt with like losing your virginity and coming out and the Columbine murders and suicide and abortion and like all of these really
Light
difficult
fare.
just a sensible show to bring your grandmother to. And so, you know, it was like this, it had a lot of hype around it, and we got extended through the whole summer, and we were being paid. It was like the time of my life. Yeah. And I met some of my lifelong friends. And so during that is when they were talking about moving the show to New York, and not with us, but just in general. So this agent had come and seen it. And so later on that fall, I got a call I was at school, and I remember my mom like showed up at the school. It was like very dramatic. And I had thought like somebody had died because I had lost like 6 people that year. It was like really strange. And so I was like, fuck, who died? And so my mom comes in, and like, this is how naive her. She like comes in and she's like, Broadway called. So like, we thought it was like a headquarters. That, like,
Broadway call.
Broadway. It's like Corky from Waiting for Government. We may be
Oh
going
my
to
God.
Broadway.
exactly that.
I love your mom.
And I was like, okay. And so, you know, we just thought like it was like a corporation, like a headquarters. They were like, hello, is this the home of Golly Gibson? We'd like to offer her a role on Broadway. Pack your bags, kid. You're gonna be great. And so I was like, yes, obviously that, very that.
God.
And so we called them back, and of course. In fact, when we called, we asked for Hairspray. It was a whole dumb thing. We were actually calling Brett Adams' agency. And so, anyways, long story short, they were like, yes, we saw you in the show this summer, and there's this new show coming out. They're doing workshops of it right now, but we think you'd be really right for it. Would you be interested in coming? And I was like, yeah, now. And they're like, no, have a seat, have several. Not yet. You know, we'll let you know. And so, of course, I went back. I told everybody. It was like very exciting. And then I got the word that they're like 2 months later, and I was trying to figure out if I was like going to go to college, although high school was kind of kicking my ass. So I had like 81 absent like days my senior year of high school, and
School's not for everybody, and it's okay.
there was like no world where I was going to take college, like that wasn't a thing. And so I got the call. They were like, they're going to use the girl they've been using in the workshops, Marissa, but the show's going to be a hit. They know it. There's probably gonna be talk of a tour, and that was like all I needed to hear. So I threw a fake graduation party for myself. I told everyone in my family I was taking these correspondence classes. I was not.
Oh my God.
And that I was going to graduate early, and I threw a party, and I took that money from my graduation party, and I moved to New York City with it.
Oh,
It was very diabolical.
Have
Like,
any of them asked for their money back? They're like, remember that card I gave you with $5?
I mean, yeah, exactly. They're like, I was like, well, I did use it and put it to good use. So I went to New York. I moved in with a friend of mine who I'd met doing Crash Nation the year before. And he had just graduated. His name was Leonard. Lovely.
Wait, so how old were you?
I was 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I moved to New York. I was 17 too.
But what 17-year-old nowadays has that chutzpah, has that...
But it was naivety, and in the best way, though. Like,
Yeah.
it was, I didn't know, like, outside of my mom being like, I watched Law & Order, like, gung, gung, like, you can't go. Because rape is around every corner. And I was like, that's fine. But I don't know. It was silly, and it didn't make a lot of sense, and I didn't have the logistics figured out, but it was just that drive that, like, I know I meant to do this, and I don't care, and I'm going, and I don't care if anybody thinks it's a bad idea, and I wasn't really looking for anyone's permission, and my mom kind of knew she couldn't stop me. Like, so all she could do was try to help me at that point, because she was like, well, you're going.
You can't beat them, join
So I moved in with Leonard, and then I got the call to go in and audition for the tour, and I had about 10 auditions over they can't do this too anymore, but over about 7 months period of time. Now they have to start paying you for auditions, which is, I think it's very
I
smart.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
If
When
you're
did that
going
change?
up
Yeah,
for...
because if you can't make up your
But when
fucking
did that
mind.
change?
If you're like 5 or 6 years ago, if you're going for a lead role and they
I didn't
ask
know
you to
that.
come in after 3 or 4 times, they have to start paying you.
Brilliant.
Shows
Which
you
is
how many
great.
lead roles I'm up for.
Because you should make up your mind.
You should make up your mind. And well, here's the thing. I got it with
Yeah,
me.
but this show
They were
had
trying to
some
vet
heft.
me as well to be like, I mean,
Yep.
they were like, is this a fluke?
Yeah.
Can she really carry
'Cause you
this
were so
show?
young.
Like, is she going to be able to handle this? Because the longest run I'd ever done up in that point was like playing Adelaide over the weekend in high school in Guys and Dolls.
I would
got
love
the
to
horse
see
right
that, by the way.
There is video of it. I was going to say tape. It is a tape.
Well,
Well,
what
it's
a
funny you
perfect
mentioned that because I
segue.
got it right here.
we got it.
The original
Johnny.
cast of Guys and Dolls.
Johnny, play the clip.
We're in LA right now.
Imagine.
Sorry.
So then it was
Ryan.
it was later that spring, and I finally got the call. It came down to 4 of us. It was myself, Kayla Settle, Kathy Breyer, and Shannon
Kayla
Durek.
Settle was up
She
for
was my
it too?
understudy on the first national.
What was your
Are you
first
friends with her?
audition
We
song?
are friends.
Okay, then I won't say anything.
No, I mean you can speak your piece.
That was not. It was not good in Rent. It wasn't good.
Anyway.
Listen.
What was your
Oh
first
my God.
I would never
audition
attempt that
song?
solo. You
Listen.
sang all songs from the show. We sang we had to sing all the Tracy.
So you didn't get to
Okay,
audition
this is
with your
not
own
normal. This
piece?
is not normal. What happened to you?
No, it's not.
It's not
It's
normal.
not normal at all. And I finally got the call that, so basically we knew the 4 of us were going to go somewhere. We just didn't know exactly where. And so because we knew Marissa was leaving the show and that they were looking for a new Tracy on Broadway and an understudy and then a tour Tracy and an understudy. So we knew we were all going somewhere. And then I got the call that I was going to be originating the tour. Kayla was going with me. And then Kathy Breyer was going to take over for Marissa. Shannon Durga was going to become her understudy. So then I went out on the road. And you listen, again, there's nothing that prepares you. Like, it's just... I don't know. I just went into it and I was like, I learned it and I did it. And then it wasn't until we were about like a month or 2 into it that I was like, I'm really tired. Do I have to keep doing this for a whole other year? And it just started to be like, I don't know. And that made me
feeling.
sad and that made me upset with myself. I had a lot of guilt feelings about being like, I'm kind of over it. Like,
No, can I interject just for a second?
Yes, of course.
I can relate to you so hard right now, and I didn't even have as much responsibility.
Tracy in Hairspray?
No.
Oh.
But even in my shows, I played 2 lead characters, but I didn't have nearly as much to do as you did in your show. But touring is exhausting.
it's exhausting.
But
Your
here's the
only day
thing.
off, you're usually traveling.
It's exhausting.
But here's also the thing: it's not only is it exhausting,
it's exhausting to
extremely-
do it on Broadway in a sit down.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
But it's so lonely too.
It is lonely. It's very
you make
isolating.
Your family with who you're traveling
Yeah.
with, but at the same time, you're traveling. You don't actually get to enjoy the city that you're in.
No, because
And
you
you're
got
kind
to
of
keep,
on
you know,
your-
you can't lose your voice. You can't get sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, the thing that I love the most about my life now is like, if I hear somebody cough from like a Spitz throw away, I used to be like, oh, gee, who's
yeah.
fucking sick? Like, and you know, you're just like a crazy person. And now you know, it's just like a very different freeing experience. But so it was tough. I just dealing with those feelings of being like, and also I kind of expected when my dream came true for my life to change
Yeah,
in
right.
this really
Yep.
magnificent way, and it kind of didn't. And that was also a big realization. It's just a lot of growing up. That experience for me
Yeah.
was hard knocks because I just had to go through it. And then I got pulled off of the road about 6 months in. We were in Denver, and I found out that Kathy was leaving the show, and then Harvey was leaving the show, and they were worried like, Harvey's the heart and soul. What are we gonna do? And so they were bringing in Michael McKeon, and they wanted to bring me
I
in.
love him.
Oh, I love him too.
Yeah,
And they wanted to completely like go. They stopped the show for a couple days. They cleaned the whole show up, and then they reopened it with a whole new. That's how I got my New York review. They reinvited the press. It was like a whole thing.
That's smart, by the way.
It was like a whole revamp because they were like, we need to put some fresh air in here because they were terrified because Harvey was the heart and soul of it. I mean,
what were those nerves like though? When it's like,
Oh,
they've
you want
shut
to
down
hear
their
the best?
show?
I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what to be scared of. Like, I will never forget. It was like opening night.
I was actually at the closing night with Harvey.
Oh, were you?
I totally
So that was
forgot.
I was there that night.
I just
Did you go to the
remembered.
party?
I didn't go to a
I was
party.
coked out of my mind at that party. This is back when
Oh.
I was a very bad girl. This is also like a whole different side of like, yeah, because that was the other thing too. Like when
Good
I got
morning, Baltimore.
You know who? The first contract I ever got was a singer on Celebrity Cruises, and my co-lead was Corey Reynolds,
Oh, sure. I love Corey.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Real fast.
who played Seaweed.
Carly, from the chat room, who was your very first inspiration?
Oh, Jesus. Like ever? I mean, early days, I watched a lot of SNL, Gilda Radner, Lucille Ball.
Yes.
How old are you, girl?
I know. I'm 1,000.
You're ageless.
No, Audrey Hepburn. I loved just how regal and sort of understated she was, but just powerful.
Who you've channeled in the guest book, yeah. Very,
Yes. I'm very much giving you nothing but Audrey Hepburn.
You got an old soul, girl.
But yeah, Chris Farley, I loved big, sort of, I mean, especially with just physical comedy. So I mean, housekeeping. But yeah, just anybody, honestly, who I mean, my favorite movie. I remember when I was like 5 years old or 6 years old, like in the first grade, and they ask you like, you're doing your show and tell, they're like, "What's your favorite movie?" And I was like, "The Color Purple." That was my favorite movie as a child. I mean,
It's
that's
so
like a
uplifting.
real thing.
No, it
was,
really is, actually.
but I was so inspired by just storytelling and performances and things
It's not the story, because we don't know that that's not our story, right?
Right.
Until somebody tells us, well, that's not your story.
I just loved it. It was gospel music and the sisters, and of course, as you get older, you're like, wow, that was really fucking dark, and like, there's some shit going on here, and I'm sorry to everyone. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like, I just didn't know to be afraid.
It's probably better.
Well, it is better. I mean, I'll tell you, I miss that fearlessness. I remember on our opening
fear,
night,
as Oprah says, is the main
I mean,
thing
it
that
is.
stops people.
It is. It absolutely is. I mean, I had no knowledge of the industry whatsoever. Our opening night, somebody was like, "Ben Brantley's here," and I was like, "Oh, is that your uncle?" Like, I didn't know who anybody was. But that was sort of the charm, I think, if in a very hubris way, if I can say, like, I think about me at the time was that, like, I didn't know who Patti LuPone is. I didn't grow up with theater. I grew up with rock and roll. Yeah. And so those were sort of my influences. I fell into musical theater sort of naturally because there were no openings for like a 2.5 foot lead singer of a rock and roll band at the time. And so I just fell into musical theater by proxy, but I was never really like entrenched in it in that way. And so I just didn't know this world, but I just thought it was so cool. And of course, having this experience, I learned so much. But I will say it was when I was on tours when I started getting panic attacks. Now, I'd never heard of that word before, right? I didn't know what that was. I had no knowledge of it, and I'll never forget. And to this day, and I talked to my therapist that I've had for 15 years.
Our apologies.
She's amazing. We're still together. She got me through my drug problem, all the things. But like, I was like,
here I am, like, I'm like, what drinks shall
No,
our
I'm
lady
not
have?
sober. I just don't do coke anymore. Which means I'm also not a lesbian anymore. Coke made me such a lesbian. I don't know. It just did. And so he knows.
I thought he was a lesbian. No, just kidding. He's wearing a sweater. I didn't know.
But yeah, I just I miss being fearless, and it's really hard as you get older and you experience loss and disappointment, and you become tarnished
and criticism,
and
everything.
everything,
And you actually get to learn. We have shows that are canceled, and there's all these ups and downs.
And it's not even so much that I don't give a shit about the sort of exterior judgment. It's my own judgment that I deal with the most, that hits me harder than anything. Like, there's nothing anybody could say or think about me that I haven't already thought and felt about myself. And so my relationship with myself is probably, I don't want to say it's tumultuous, like I've worked on it over the years, but that's the hardest one. Like, I don't give a fuck if somebody's like, I didn't really like you in the guest book. I'm like, bitch, live your life. I don't give a fuck. Like, move along. Be gone before somebody drops a house on you. Like, I do not
things
care.
don't ever bother me.
It's not that. It's like, I have fears of like letting people down.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to let anybody
Yeah.
down. So the moment there becomes pressure and expectation for me to do something or be something, I become like, the best and worst day of my life always is when I book something. It's the best day and it's the worst day because it's the moment all of the what ifs. What if I let them down? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't? You know what I mean? Like, and then I had these irrational fears. Like I told my publicist when we first met, they were like, I was like, I don't do well with like live interview stuff. I get very nervous and whatever. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. I suffer from panic disorder really bad. And they were like, well, can I ask you like, what's your fear? And I was like, my fear is that like, I don't know, like I'm just going to like explode or something. And she was like, if you can explode on cue, that's actually, we could do something with that.
Oh my God, we get so many good ratings.
She was like, we could actually work with that. So if you actually want to explode on camera, that's fine. But yeah, it really comes down to that.
But you've also talked about very much that also gave you like your discipline and your structure so that when you go to a TV set, we know a TV set, you're kind of on your own.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, okay, let's film this. Let's get 1 take, 2 takes. Especially with TV, it's like, let's get it in as quick as we can.
Yeah.
So you have to do a lot of your own work. You have to be disciplined on your own. Nobody tells you, hey, don't go out the night before. Doing a Broadway show.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you have call time, you have warm-ups, you have all that. You know that you have to do that.
Yeah.
TV is like, show up and do
The best thing for my nerves.
TV is like, okay,
Yeah.
You're so cute.
Well, it's weird too. I mean, the best thing for my nerves that I've found over the years is just to be prepared as possible. It helps me. Like, and I'll never be the girl who can go in and wing it. I'll make myself crazy, whatever I have to do to just like have everything down. But that's that theater background. You know what I mean? Because I remember when my first day on set at the guest book, and I was very nervous. Of course, I was like, and I was okay until I got on set and I saw all these different cameras and all these people with all these different jobs and everything was pointed at me. And I thought, oh my God, everybody's job right now exists solely on the fact that like I have to do what I was paid to do correctly. Yeah.
But there's also
that
nobody
terrified
there, like,
the
holding your
shit out of
hand
me.
Saying,
Right.
It's gonna be okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's lonely when that all.
It was, and I was just like,
I would
oh
imagine.
my God,
I'm living
don't
through you right
fuck
now.
up. I was like, this is it. Like, just I don't know. And then what I was waiting for, which never happened, and my sort of what I've heard from people is like, you get more of this in film. But I was waiting for the director to come over and be like, okay, so in this moment, we're really none of that.
No.
Just here's your mark and like try to get it in within this amount of time and like make sure you keep.
Good luck.
I was like,
Director will come over and be like,
my
our
God.
Cheez-It advertisers are here. If you could eat a couple of Cheez-Its,
Right,
that'd
like-
be great. And everybody loves you.
There
We're all
was
rooting for
no
you.
conversation. So I just learned, like in the very beginning, I was like, don't be problematic, like just do your job and whatever. And then I was like,
But as an
I'm
actor,
just gonna
you need
ask.
this.
Like
Some
Yeah.
directors will.
some directors will give you a little bit,
Like
yeah.
the good ones.
It depends. There's actors, directors, and then there's crew directors. And the
Right.
crew directors
Yeah.
are there for the shots. They're
Yeah.
dealing with the crew mostly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was that was a very, I was like, but it was also very liberating because I never had that kind of freedom before. Theater is so micromanaged. Stand here because the light hits you and grab
Yeah.
the prop and turn
And do
this
it
way
the same
and do it on
every
this beat.
single day.
And it's so fucking micromanaged that I was
But
like,
you could also like that too because then you are taken care of and then you are.
see, but I don't like that. I don't like people. I liked the freedom in television. I was like, oh, this is mine. It actually felt like I was fucking acting for once in my life.
So stepping into Tracy, it's like, you know, how did you make that role your own? Oh, and just real fast, I have to say, Danielle Staub fans, she is here. We are going to get to her interview. We're running a little bit behind, but she is
in the
here.
house.
She in the house. How did you make Tracy your own?
Well, we were very fortunate that the creative, so Jack O'Brien and Jerry Mitchell and Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, they were all
Love Jerry
very
Mitchell.
involved with the
They're
tour.
all amazing
Yes,
men.
and just incredible men. And they were all very involved with the tour. And they were kind of looking at it with the approach of like, you know, we want to take what worked. And then there's a few things. Of course, anytime you make something, you look at it and you're like, oh, we should have, we could have, we, you know, or that joke could have been. So they did that with us. They gave us an opportunity to like quirk things and make it our own and really develop that. And they wanted that. They were like, we don't want your Tracy to be Marissa's Tracy. We want your Tracy to be your Tracy and what you bring to it. And I think what I brought to it was sort of that plucked out of obscurity in a small town, being really young and just sort of being bright-eyed and thrown into things, because that was sort of what Tracy was. She didn't ask why, she asked why not, right? And so
That's exactly it. And she had that same
But
energy,
you're-
which I think you bring to every role. You're like, okay, I'm doing this. I know in One Mississippi, that was meant for like a black or a Latino actor.
the guest book.
The
Yes.
guest book. And you're like, no.
I'm like, that would have got real interesting.
Oh,
real
yeah. In
Yeah.
fact, can we take a look at the guest book trailer on TBS?
Oh, here she comes. Tickles.
Thinking of going to the beach, making a fresh start.
I need a fresh start. I'm
so
gonna be
in love with
Vivian,
you.
the
It's
new girl,
ridiculous.
instead of Tickles the stripper. Guys in the supply closet. Hi. I'm Tickles. I get the hell of a in the storage closet for 25. 30 if you want me to take off the carpal tunnel brace.
Hello, I'm just here to pick up the keys to Bare Feet Retreat.
Welcome to the Bare Feet Retreat.
Kids, back! We're going to the beach!
It's a place where folks come to relax.
Look at all that beauty.
It's very nice out here, too, you know.
Yeah, but not as nice as this. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Every week, a new guest checks in.
You asked me to come here and pretend to be your girlfriend. You don't know me. Halfway here, I could have pulled out a knife and robbed you. That's like a real possibility. I have a knife in my purse and I've robbed people before.
How much does the baby look like or not look like the father when it's born?
Well, the other guy you had sex with, was he the same color as your fiancé?
According to the swatches at Lowe's, my fiance's a summer linen and the other guy's a toasted coconut.
Should be good for a while.
They arrive with all their baggage.
So you guys, these stars come week after week, and so Carly, I have to know, as an actress, you know, you guys have established your structure, and then you have these big names come in, and it must be like, oh, so excited to meet them, but then we have to film, and I know you guys are like on a 2-week where it's...
Yeah, 2 episodes in 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mini masterclass every single time somebody comes in. And of course, you're always a really big fan of their work, and you're so interested to see, and we work very quickly.
It's one camera.
Yeah, it's single cam, and so it's like, you know, it's very interesting. But you know, Greg is just, I cannot speak highly enough about working with Greg. He is one of the most, like, he just gets it. He's that guy that's like, somehow they let me sneak in the back door. I don't even belong
really down to
here.
earth.
Like, they just let me, you know what I mean? And he's never crossed. There's never tension. Like, even when the suits are running around, they're like, we're overtime, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'll be like to Greg, I'm like,
Kurt's not wearing a suit, but he's already telling us we're overtime.
But like, I'll be like, Greg, is everything okay? And he's like, it's fine. And then we'll go play like the bottle game or whatever with his son. Like, it's just, he's very cool and very funny and wonderful. And so he creates this great atmosphere where everybody just feels really safe and comfortable, and everybody feels really equal. And that was one of the things that meant everything to me coming into it, because I of course was like, I'm so out of my league, what am I doing here? That's Stockard Channing, and I wanted to be like, you making fun of me, Riz, but like I didn't. I held it in. I didn't say that I wanted to so bad. But yeah, just to like pretend that you're these people's peers is hysterical to me. I'm just, it'll never not be like, what am I doing
I think that's
here?
how everyone feels. Everyone feels like a fraud on the inside.
Yeah,
you know, like we're all faking it.
Yeah,
and that's probably good
because that's what we're
it
doing.
challenges you to do better and to work harder. But I have to tell you, you are such a heart of the guest book from season 1 to season 2, and your poor boobs in the show.
Oh my God.
Season 3,
Just
what's going to
everywhere.
happen? Like, you don't have any more boobs for them to do.
And well, she got shot in the same one twice, so
And
I
there's
don't
the
know.
Marlin on the side. Just unbelievable. I'm such a fan of how you as an actress fill whatever you're doing, from Hairspray, which you guys can see so many YouTube clips of her doing Hairspray, so we're not going to play that. From TV, One Mississippi, the guest book, which we got to see a little bit of, you really fill out every space you're in, even tonight here. I could talk to you for 3 hours. I want to take a peek at you at Rockwell, which, if you guys live in Southern California, Rockwell is the small, intimate space that does musicals that are unbelievable. I want to show you how Carly brings this big talent to a small space and owns it and makes it believable and...
Well, what's this gonna be? Oh, sure.
Lovable.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song,
voice.
With his song, telling my life, with his words, killing me softly, with his song.
It's that comedy, but the I love this.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. So that's just a little clip. What I love is, like, you command the stage, and this voice, which is such a great partnership of musical theater and like pop, and we're gonna end the show with a track from one of your CDs. This has to be part one of a two-parter, Carly.
Well, here's
we
the
haven't
thing.
even.
I just want to put a tiny disclaimer about this album. I recorded this almost 9 years ago. It was my first shot at songwriting, and I sort of produced it on my own. It's rough. It's from my heart. It's like but this song in particular was like the heart and soul of what the album was about. But we're thinking about doing another one. I don't know. I've been itching. I don't sing anymore, and it's so funny because
so this is a big question.
What?
I don't sing anymore.
This is a big question.
In like years.
Before we get to our rapid fire, this is our last big question I have for you.
Wait, you have to start.
I know. I miss it. I'm thinking about it.
Is there a struggle between your music career and your TV film career?
Right now, yes, a little bit. I think I'm a big believer in like you have to put 100% into something to have success from it. And if you only put 10% of yourself in different pots all over the place, then that's what you're going to get back. And so I've put a lot of my focus and time and energy into the TV world since I've been out here. But my singing has been on such a back burner, and it didn't really bother me until we were on set one day and we were talking about music or whatever. And Jimmy Tatro, who plays Bodhi, says to me, he goes, "Oh, you sing?" And I was like, that used to be the thing I was known for. That was so like.
Did you feel like you weren't ready?
Like to sing?
Like if he would have said, "Oh, we're going to give you a song right now."
No, it wasn't that. It was just the idea that like I had been separated it from so long that there could be a world that people didn't know that I did that. And I thought, it's been too long.
We need to.
I'm like, it's been too long.
We need to go and have lunch.
It's time. It's time to bring her back. Like she's ready to come back.
Am I invited? My name's on the goddamn banner.
Let's go.
No,
we should all go to lunch.
I hear that a lot. From singer actors. It's like, then what do you do? Like Carly Hughes. From Broadway.
It's hard because there's no world where I'm like, I don't really want to be a recording artist. That's where it gets into this sort of like, what do you decide you want to do?
Right.
Because if I was going to do that, I'd need to put my focus into that, right?
But
it's hard.
So Lady Gaga, which I thought her performance in A Star Is Boring was...
A Star Is fine.
Don't even...
Okay, but here's the thing, is that she focused on music because she wasn't getting acting roles, and she's very honest and open about it, was that, she did both, and nobody was really paying attention to her acting, and she couldn't get roles. And
she was like 20.
But she focused on her music, and now she's that. Now she's getting back into the movies. It's such this weird dichotomy now because you can't just be one thing.
It's Sophie's choice, man. Like it sucks, but sometimes it is a little bit. And it's always so interesting too when people are like, "Oh, now you're trying to do this," and you're like, "Bitch, don't call it a comeback." Like she's been here for years. Like, absolutely not. It's so interesting to me.
You guys. We have to do part two
because
with
people want to put you in a box. Sorry, we have to keep talking. Cancel Danielle.
Your review.
We have Bravo TV that's up my ass right now. And Kurt
I've never wanted to talk to someone more than I actually.
You have to play one thing.
You're the most interesting guest he's ever put in front of me.
Oh, is this your first time or? Wouldn't that be terrible?
No, this is like my 19th time. No shade to all those other.
This conversation is just so natural and it's so exciting. I think we need another episode.
Yes.
I'm down.
Us. Yeah,
let's do it.
I'd come back.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna end the show with rapid fire.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but like I'll take it.
I'll take answer 5 questions.
Take it on the chin like a lady.
Musical theater audition song you wish would just retire. One that people shouldn't do. Like you're like, ugh.
Oh, what's that song from Wild Part? Life of the Party.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Most embarrassing song on your playlist.
So much judgment. Embarrassing song. Oh, ABBA, Take a Chance on Me.
Mine is Mbop, and I have 10 remixes.
Oh my god!
Every time Take a Chance on Me comes back, I'm always like, I would try to turn it down. I don't know why I feel so like people are gonna be like, I'm always like, oh no.
It's probably a disco song for me.
Oh. After a day of filming, what is your personal ritual? Like you're done filming.
Drink a Coke and smoke a cigarette.
Really?
Yeah, have a Coca-Cola.
You smoke as a singer?
Yeah, I smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, okay.
No judgment.
We gotta talk, girl. Coca-Cola's my jam.
I know.
And I'll have a cigarette. Don't judge me. As a singer.
Lower the key, it's fine. Broadway musical, you could go back in time and originate the role, male or female. Which one would it be?
Good question.
Hairspray.
Aww.
Really?
I'd have won the Tony. I wanted a Tony.
But no other
Oh
Broadway
no, she
musical
wanted
from like...
from the beginning of Hairspray.
Yeah.
She's saying.
I want to originate it.
I get it.
I mean, I'm not trying to take shit away from her, so you
sometimes-
asked me a question.
Yeah. God, I love her so much. How do you... Who is your celebrity crush that you would want to sign your guest book? Sorry.
It's going to be somebody that you're going to be like, what? Jon Stewart.
I
love
thought
him
Jon
so
Stewart
much.
was sexy in the
He's
Faculty.
so smart.
He's sexy.
He's so sexy.
Faculty.
He's so politically charged. I love him. Or Bill Maher. I know I have daddy issues. Like I don't want to talk about it.
No.
I love him.
Have you ever been to a club where he is?
No,
You'd
but
be instantly turned off.
All right,
And
you
you're
guys.
you're too light for his type.
I know. He has a type.
Yeah.
And I'm not it.
You guys, we haven't even talked. I have 2 other pages of questions. Please promise you're going to come back.
I promise. I
Carly Gibson
swear. I
part 2.
promise.
Yay!
Will you come back? Right.
Yeah.
Will you drive from
I'm a whore.
And Kurt, thank you so much. You guys stay tuned.
Thanks, Kurt.
When we come back, we have OG, Bravo TV, new Real Housewife of New Jersey. Danielle Staub is here. And I'm
Yes.
telling you, she has some tea to spill. She wasn't invited to Andy Cohen's baby shower, but she
shit.
sure showed up. And she
Yes,
was here.
queen.
And she's here to talk to us.
Atta
Yes.
Stay tuned. We're going to exit the show by listening to Carly Gibson's CD, which you guys have to download. And we're listening to I Remember You from Best of Me.
Bye, y'all.
And I don't remember just how we got started, no. But I know that feeling of being complete. I don't remember that night on a road trip. I just remember we mapped our lives. And I don't recall if it was daisies or roses. You held as you asked me to be your wife. Well, I don't remember your piercing blue eyes. I don't remember that crystal white smile. I just remember how it felt to be in your world for a while. Well, I have forgotten the touch of your hands as every day steals our secrets.
All right, you guys, and we are back with powerhouse bitches who kick ass on TV. This is the theme of our night. Our second half of our night, I can't even begin to tell you. I've been preparing for this from season 1 of Real Housewives of New Jersey. You guys, Danielle Staub is here. One of the OG Bravo TV Housewives of New Jersey is back and rejoicing in new beginnings. Still causing some shit stirring, though. I will tell you, I have been watching the season. As a proud mother, actress, and author, she balances the everyday challenges of motherhood with her super busy career. She prioritizes her family and prides herself on being a devoted mother to her 2 incredible daughters, Christine and Jillian, who we have literally seen growing up on TV. They are so gorgeous. They should be on the cover of every magazine in the world because they are gorgeous. We're going to get them an agent.
So sweet.
And I'm not a sweet person, Brandon will tell you. Amongst her many endeavors, Danielle wrote her memoir, The Naked Truth, in 2010, a page-turner, literally the book turned on fire to separate fact from fiction and genuinely rectify her controversial past. She embodies an optimistic spirit and sees the future as limitless. To complement her positive disposition, she has embraced a love of yoga. Girl, I know somebody who pairs wine with yoga. That's the only way I will do yoga. She lives by her motto, stay in the positive. And in order to truly love somebody else, you have to love yourself first. Girl, you said it, RuPaul says it, we all say it, and I love that. She's also involved with her parish, those lucky priests, and supports various charities, including the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and the World Hunger Organization. This last week, she hit Los Angeles by storm with her visits to every posh LA location, and her Instagram would indicate maybe some Hollywood projects in the near future. Let's hope. She joined the who's who of housewives of Beverly Hills, New Jersey, Atlanta, New York, OC, all of the housewives, as all of the main players congregated for Andy Cohen's baby shower at the Palm in Beverly Hills. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures go viral, making her On the Rocks debut before she literally jumps on a plane back home. Please welcome Danielle Staub.
Hello.
Yeah.
Also joining us, a multi-time On the Rocks guest, Brandon Liberati was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, but don't hold that against him. He's still fun. He began his career at the age of 18. His passion was realized as his dreams came true. The first week he was in La La Land, he was cast as a beauty expert on RuPaul's Drag You. Then he began styling award shows, red carpets, editorial shoots, and stars on major shows. All the shows that you can imagine, including some of our Bravo ones that we love. Some we love, some we're over. Next Food Network's Shaw's of Sunset, The Housewives, Kendra on Top, Nickelodeon, Vanderpump Rules, American Horror Story, American Housewife, and Orange is the New Black, just to name a few. He set his sights on the Big Apple and headed to New York to cut and style for some of Broadway's biggest names. Stephanie Block, of course, from Wicked, Boy from Oz, Falsettos, Richard Kind, The Producers, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and Orphe from Legally Blonde, Footloose, Saturday Night Fever, and of course, the beautiful Carly Hughes, who has graced us here from Pippin, Beautiful, The Carole King Story, and of course, Chicago. At 42, am I allowed to say ages?
Who?
You're the only age that I think we're going to talk about tonight. We're not talking about.
You can talk about mine.
Girl, you look good for any age, I'm telling you. At 42.
I need to update my bio.
At 42. No. You were 42.
Okay.
No, yeah. Liberati decided to tie the knot and share his love with the world, as he and his husband were the first legally gay married couple on national television, starring on Bravo's hit reality show, Newlyweds, the first year. They focused on a bunch of couples, but we know the couple that literally stole the show. The other couples were like, hello. And you're like, whatever. Brandon now lives in LA. He can be seen cutting and coiffing between Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York. I barely get to see him. For many celebrities of television, film, music, stage, and tech, as well as his dedicated and loyal clientele that spans across the nation. A Bravo celebrity himself. He's the go-to for many other Bravo stars. And I started to see this kismet happening months and months ago. And I was like, what? Yes. And we know that you only hang around good people, so we're going to talk a lot. His work can be seen in Cosmopolitan, Teen Vogue, Elle, OK Magazine, InStyle, and more. Please welcome back Brandon. Okay, so we have so much. We have so much to get through. And Danielle, like, if I ask you something you don't want to answer, just tell me it's none of my business. Okay. But Brandon, being in front of the camera, then behind the camera, then front. If you look at Brandon's Instagram, it's literally a who's who. In fact, we pulled some of your celebrity pictures from Sarah Jessica Parker to Rose McGowan to male, female celebrities. Brandon, we have to talk about those glasses. I'm not a fan.
Oh, see,
I'm not a fan.
I love them.
But see, so many people love them, and some people don't. And,
you look like Jiminy Glick.
But see, for me, it's more about a statement. Yeah. See, but see, I get that.
Okay.
So my mom hates them.
Okay, your mom and I get along very well, especially when there's liquor.
So his personality allows that, and his
he could
looks,
wear whatever.
He could do whatever he
forget
wants.
it. We went to Universal Studios in gray sweatpants. That was an attraction right there. I was like, hello, Harry Potter's right here. Right. Well, Harry Potter was there, so.
Right.
I would litter my page with him all day, every day.
Well, you guys make a really good couple. Some of the pictures you guys have taken together are stunning. When I found out you were in LA, what was the very first thing I did was like, where's she coming down the rocks?
Yeah, I'm like, anytime.
But is it weird to go behind the camera, in front of the camera? Because you've made appearances on Shaw's of Sunset. Of course, you had your own show.
Do you know what? It's not weird. It really keeps me humble because I go into environments where I'm the glam team and I'm treated very different than I'm going in when I'm going in as talent. And some of the same people that have interviewed me will act like I don't exist when I go in as the hair person.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's humbling. It's very humbling because I have to go in without an ego. And when you're going in as talent, you're treated very different than when you're going in as the help.
But I always take care of whoever's with me, and I make them be honored. I don't appreciate it if I hear somebody
and
has
that's
mistreated
that's
Brandon.
important.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah, and that's so true.
I won't allow it. If I go to dinner and I can't bring him, I'm not going.
Well, and he doesn't. He's gay, so he doesn't eat. So
actually,
right.
he's surprised.
It's like,
who's paying for this tonight? Oh, baby, I'm eating.
Right.
He wouldn't do that to me, but he will do it to anybody else. It's French fries. We love French fries.
Oh God, girl, who are you talking
right.
to? I go to a party and they're like, "Do you want some cocaine?" I'm like, "Bitch, does it look like I do cocaine? Where's the French fries?"
Right.
Come on.
We're all about the French fries.
Yes. But I have to know, Danielle, you've had so many people come and go from your life that we've seen through Bravo, from haters to lovers to people that idolize you, like I did since season 1.
Oh, thank you.
You must have your guard up for good reason as to who you let in as friendship and who you let in to help create your style. hairstylist, your clothing stylist, your makeup artist, they literally see you naked, but then they see your personality. They see you when you're tired. They see you when other people are throwing shit at you, and they see what's really going on. So what was it about Brandon that you were like, okay, he's good people. We're going to build this friendship on top of the professional relationship?
You know what? It's sort of like the universe throws people into your life at the time they're supposed to enter. I had the unfortunate parting with one of my glam, and I didn't get into the somatics. I just was looking and searching, and then I stopped looking and searching, and I started looking at pictures of him on Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, he's so freaking cute. And I fell in love with his husband too. And then it wasn't 3 days later that I walked into a red carpet event, and there they were.
We rode the elevator up together.
Together.
Just like you said, things happen.
Yes, the universe threw us
I was
together.
there for Fashion Week.
I haven't left him for a moment. I just don't want to. I really don't. If I get something, I want him there with me, and I would invite Craig if he was here too. Just that
Craig.
Special.
Craig, hello in Canada, by the way.
He just called. I talked to him outside 50 below.
Yeah.
Minus 50, where he's at.
That's why he has to dance, to
I'm
keep things
serious.
going.
Keep himself warm.
Danielle, I have to tell you, the reason I'm such a fan, we saw you come in in a blaze of glory in season 1. It was crazy. It was over the top. Let's just show. We have to show the infamous clip because everybody. It's the table flipping.
That's the Emmys, 5 of them.
Yeah, Kurt. Just play that for our listeners that may not be familiar. This happened season 1.
I was arrested. Prostitution whore. You were f***ing gay 19 times. You bitch. Coming to my class. You whore. A guy in my
Okay.
ass. You whore.
So I'm sure for you at the moment.
My face.
Yeah. It's like, what? You're like, I'll take my book, please, and dessert to go.
Yeah, I went, wow.
Check, please.
But I have to say, that hit the media in such a way before, like we had the memes and the GIFs that we do now all over social media. This really saturated so much from pop culture to mainstream news. And looking at it, I'm sure being there at the moment was terrifying. And there was so much going on. It was a climax of this tumultuous relationship with all the women. It was also season 1 of your first time really doing a reality show.
Most people had not done a reality show at this point, I must say. We were the trailblazers. Well, Teresa and I.
Well, and there's that energy there, and there's that, like we were talking about being naked, there's that rawness that you can't manufacture on a reality TV show. What I love about you, because I followed you through the years from your singing, when's the new single going to come?
It's coming.
Okay, good. From your dips in the lady pond.
Oh.
But I love how you've reinvented yourself, and you've done other shows on other networks, and you continue to reinvent yourself, unabashed, unapologetic to anybody, what their criticisms may be or their opinions. They're not paying your bills, so why do their opinions matter? But I really love how you kind of have your pulse on what's happening, and you're able to really manifest yourself over and over again. The Danielle that we see, even though still a little shit store, like I said, you have refined yourself. You have, I think, gained your own identity that this is Danielle. She's not trying to do anything else. She's not trying to be anything else. I love this Danielle.
Thank you.
The thing is who's your favorite character when you're watching Dynasty?
All the ones that get in fights.
Yeah. But you think of some of the iconic characters that we remember. It's Alexis. It's Erica.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's these people that, and I think that from season 1 to now, I think that you've become the person that is unapologetically outspoken. Which
though, you have a lot to do with helping me through a lot of that. On the, behind closed doors, nobody knows what goes on. Yeah. He does, and he's never judgmental. He's there for me, doesn't let me break. If he sees a crack, he doesn't try to put it back together again. He helps me try to make sense of it so I don't repeat it. That's what friends do.
Yes.
That's what friends do.
But we know in this industry that's kind of hard because some people will...
It's not impossible, though. I had to go through a lot to get with just not even just as a hairstylist. He's my friend, and there's a lot to be said for that. I have a trust it's really strange because the amount of time we've known each other, and my wall, like you said,
Yeah.
being up, and my guard. Really, I like.
And I don't need anything from Danielle. And
That's
I think
just
that
it.
makes,
and I
makes
believe
a
him.
big difference.
Yes.
What makes
too.
me want to give him everything that I get.
Oh my God, you guys.
Oh.
This is my thing, Danielle. I think you're done getting married. I think you're done dating. I think that you should just be single and be happy with that. And I think
And move to Beverly Hills.
move to Beverly Hills, have 10 gay husbands. We'll all move
Yes.
in.
Oh, I'm the position open for a beard anywhere. I'm a really good one. I don't want you guys. I want to be with you and cuddle at night.
Yes.
And
Well.
make me pretty.
Well, and yes. I mean, you are gorgeous. I have to say, in person, you know, you have your ideas because I see you on TV and in your glamour shoots, and you're just so gorgeous. But then in real life, it's like, oh my God, she's right here. She's so cute and little. It's like, squeeze her.
Someone said that to me recently, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. They stood back, they looked at me up and down. They're like, "You're just like a little Barbie doll.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
buy you." And I'm like, "Okay, careful with that now."
I have to say though that you and I've talked to her makeup artist as well that does makeup for her sometimes, and she does Teresa. She does a lot of the housewives, but her name is Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Christine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Priscilla Stasia.
And we actually
she's
have
incredible.
both. Yeah, we've talked about you epitomize the housewife. You are the epitome of one. When you walk into a room, you just it's your total vibe, and I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Danielle, did you?
Not everybody digs that though.
Well, because people
And I'm
can
okay
be
with
jealous of it.
that.
People can. They're not
Okay.
able to do that themselves.
Do they want you
We've
to be
seen.
boring though? That's the thing about this. It's like you
Or
you know-
manufactured, like, how do I stay on the show?
Yeah.
How do I get my own storyline? Let's
But I
manufacture
don't look
this.
for that kind of thing. We come from Teresa and I Heart Knocks. Like that was the beginning. Authenticity was
Yeah.
all we had. No one said, "Here's a script." Nobody said, "Stand there, do this, do that. Oh, we're gonna make you look better." Put that. No, we were just like thrown into a room. It was basically might as well have been bars around us, you know, for lack of a better way of putting it. And we weren't leaving until we gave everything we had. But it wasn't hard for us because, you know, Italians were pretty passionate about whatever it is we're passionate about, and we're not going to leave until it's beaten to death. You know, we need to discuss it.
Well, and you've also had this history of having to fight for yourself and fend for yourself.
Since I was a child,
In your book, you know, you were adopted, you had not the best growing up experience, and look where you've become, which I also respect. You become a great mother.
Thank you.
Regardless
Girls
of
love her.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, and that's evident. And
I'm
all the drama
obsessed.
of the show aside, your family unit is your family unit, and I do believe that comes first. And I love
does.
that you are a role model for women, saying you don't have to come from certain means to be a housewife, to have a reality TV show, to have your own thriving businesses. It's about fighting hard, knowing who you are, and never apologizing, which I love so much.
You can fall, but you have to get up and wipe yourself off and just pick your chin up, look ahead, don't look back. Get angry for 5 minutes. Do it. Let it all out. Don't do it to anybody, but just sit yourself down and do what you got to do. If it's crying, if it's screaming, mine's screaming. Sometimes then it turns into crying. But by the end of 5 minutes, I've gone through all 5 stages, so I'm good. And, you know, it molds well for me, but I've always allowed my kids to have their moment with whatever has been upsetting them so they can let go of it. If you don't allow somebody to do that and you stop that from happening, you're stopping their growth. It doesn't just apply to children, it applies to all of your relationships. If you do something to somebody and you want to apologize to them, you've got to allow them to be angry. You've got to be willing to receive that. And you know what? My friends that have come back into my life have allowed that to happen. And that's a mutual respect. And I think that that's something that everyone should be teaching their children and living by. I'm nobody like to be giving advice to anybody about anything, but the one thing I have the advantage on, I was never taught how to love. I was never shown how to love, but I believe in it. And so if I have to keep getting hurt and falling down and picking up and forgiving and letting go and getting upset and doing it all over again, I'll do it until I get it right. I don't know what I'm doing. Do any of us? I mean, and some of us had really good parents. Well,
except those glasses, right? Oh God!
No, those glasses are everything. And don't cry. You're supposed to be laughing. It's not hard.
Are you happy that you left the show and came back? Do you think you did most of the growth between those years?
No.
Really?
No, I regret leaving.
Really?
Yeah.
I got so many emails as to it was never
But
clear
I
why
couldn't take
you
it.
left the show.
I couldn't take it.
Okay.
Off camera, things were happening from the Manzo family, and they were coming after my children, myself, and it
They're
was
thick as
just,
thieves.
they are thieves. That's what that thought.
Oh God, now I'm gonna have a hit on my shoulder.
And they're pretty thick too. But I'm just saying. Someone needs to lay off the pasta.
Hey, big girls need love too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody needs love, but just they judge me, and so I'll judge back. I'll return the favor. Everyone then made it impossible for me to stay and protect my children. Let's just put it that way. And so I left to protect my kids. I abandoned my home, our life, everything. I got out of the hood. And they made sure of it. So you know what? I do regret leaving because it gave them the power. I think my advice would be to that Danielle is don't give anyone your power.
But I have to say,
Don't
you're
give that to them.
back. They're not.
Well, yeah, who's still on TV and who's
Yeah,
not?
exactly.
What was your decision to come back? Do you remember that first moment where it was announced? Because it went crazy. Regardless of how many seasons you were gone, people were still always talking about
Yeah.
you. That clip is
Just
played
that is
every
the
season
moment.
over and over. People are reading your book over and over. You have been on everybody's lips in the Bravo world, regardless of if you were on the air or not. So coming back
Even
to
on
it,
other shows on Bravo.
yeah, that's exactly right.
In movies too, I've seen it, and
Yeah.
I like it. You know, there is such a thing as called It's a Danielle. I'm not quite sure what it is, and I'm not embarrassed by it or ashamed by it or proud of it. I don't even know what it is,
You're
but I think
a part
it's kind of
pop
funny.
culture, though, and I
Yes,
love
you
that.
definitely
You are
Yeah.
definitely you have carved out your niche
And
or
man, does
your
that,
niche in
that
pop
pisses
culture.
certain people off that are very new to the franchise. That I'm an OG, bitch. Get over it.
Now, do you remember your first moment of filming back? And why aren't you in the main sequence, by the way? Why aren't you listed?
I'm not a full-time housewife.
But
I'm a
the
friend.
whole season is pretty much your wedding, your situation. I have to tell you because I had
whole
to catch
season is my
up.
situation.
There
Pretty
you go.
much.
So why? That's when I was like, girl,
Even when we started
Andy,
filming.
next season she's up in front. All right, Andy, or else no baby shower gifts for you.
Teresa and I will hold hands. We'll share the front.
Here's I got this question many different ways, and I think we briefly talked about it in the lobby. How do you go from that situation, flipping tables and having such animosity towards somebody, where you guys are friends, you guys shared a bedroom in Cabo together, you guys have each other backs in a very sincere way, by the way. Watch season 1 if you haven't caught up, catch up. I think there's 2 or 3 more episodes left.
2.
Until the reunion.
Tomorrow night, and then
2 more.
second night of Cabo's tomorrow night.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
last,
yeah.
and then you have 3 reunion.
Oh yeah.
So how do you get to that
2
position
more.
from
Is it
having
2 more episodes or 3 more?
2 more episodes left. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So how do you get to where you and Teresa are at right now? Because it wasn't just you guys fighting. It was then the teams were going Team Danielle, Team Teresa, and then replaying that
We
over and over.
actually started the teams. We didn't mean to. I mean, pop culture did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The viewers did that. And we thank all of them. I do anyway. I'm going to speak for myself right now. I thank all haters. Thank you for making sure that I remained relevant. Because if you're talking about me, you're leaving everybody else alone.
There you go.
Thank you graciously. And for all my lovers and all the millions of more of them that there are, I try to stay prevalent on my responses on social media to make sure that they feel special and loved because they make me feel that way. I don't always get around to it right away, but I check in and I do it. And I will remain as social as I can on there because you're building me up and I can't thank you enough. And the haters too. I mean, it might just be a middle finger, but I'm acknowledging you.
I also think if you haven't been through this process of reality
You don't
TV,
understand.
Teresa, I can see how there is going to be, regardless of whether they're best friends or not, there's still going to be a connection. So to go through that and know what it's like to have that as part of your past.
Well, we're the only two that understand that.
Yeah.
And so there's a bond. There's definitely a
there's
historical bond.
There's this energy that goes on where they're like, oh, we don't need to attach ourselves to Danielle. She's just a friend. Let's attach ourselves to Teresa, and she'll help us get rid of Danielle. Hello.
Literally
Not
this season,
happening.
every episode was, there's Danielle again.
Even when Danielle's
A
not
friend.
in the episode, they're
I'm in
talking
the
about
episode.
Danielle.
Talking about you.
And it's like,
yeah.
oh.
So
But
here's
I
the
fast
thing.
forwarded to the parts that you were in. I will be honest. That bachelorette party, I want to go back and go to that bachelorette party. Screw your fiance, but like, I wanted to just
He's
go have
not
fun.
even my
Ugh.
husband anymore, but we'll get
I have to
into
tell
that
you,
another
there was
time.
no chemistry there. I'm very sorry that it's been so tumultuous, but I'm glad to see you strong and on your own. Cheers
Yeah,
to that.
amen.
And you guys, here's the thing that I don't know if a lot of people realize. You were with Marty for a long
very
time.
long time.
See,
So
that wasn't really presented
Yeah.
in the show. It was
So
like it was Johnny
4
Come.
years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So she was with him for 4 years before she got married.
You don't see that in the show.
Yeah. So it made
And
it.
I was married for 4 minutes, but
But
Well,
still, it came
three
across
minutes too
as
long.
you just met this person, and I don't think that they really, let people know that it was 4 years.
Well, that wouldn't-
Craig and I were together 5 years before we were married.
Yeah.
And
hey, when somebody wants something, they're in for the long game. They're going to get what they want before they go. So apparently that's what happened, and I don't know if I want to say any more about it because it just blows somebody else up and puts them on my platform. So bye.
Yeah.
Next.
Bye, girl. Okay.
And then just I don't know if you want to go back to Teresa, but
Well, yeah, and do you think it's because she's also been through a lot from season 1 with her own family, her own situation, and now she can kind of see people from different points of light?
Well, here's the biggest part, and I'm going to just put it out there for all the moms or parents in
Yeah.
the world. Our children are the only children that saw their parents tear each other apart. If there was no other reason, which there are many, than that, we would have done it for that reason. And she was accepting that my children needed a face-to-face and a sit-down with her and an apology and an explanation.
So
She
special.
was willing to work for this relationship,
Yeah,
and I got to be
I
honest
did
with
see
you.
work, yeah.
It came from the beginning. We worked on that relationship until the other cast got in there and pushed it apart and then triggered everything, and then I pushed back.
Yeah.
Even though I was the only time in all of the Housewives history that any single one cast member had to go up against the whole rest of the cast. Now, put that into perspective.
I can't
I'm
even
the
imagine.
only one that ever had to do that, and I'm the only one that ever had to do that on top of it with family.
Yeah.
All of them family, not me. And I'm the only one that did that, all those other reasons, single, just divorced. So I think that makes me a pretty strong person to be able to do that and then walk away from my only income because it was really hurting my children. But with that said, bringing it back to the children, hearing from Teresa, that's all it took for me. When someone apologizes and I believe them, the wall just, you can peek over the wall. And we both were careful. She
takes
as well.
time. It takes
but
time and
Teresa
actions.
as well. And Teresa's friends and Teresa's family and my friends, my family. Are you guys sure? And then the viewers get involved.
Yep.
Right? We kind of go like, okay, relax. But we have a history that none of the rest of these girls have. Even Melissa doesn't have that.
Yeah. Yep.
I started it.
Yep.
And so did Teresa. And we might be the ones that finish it. Let's see.
Girl, you heard it. You heard it here first. What is the reality of filming? The reality with Bravo. What is like a daily shooting schedule like? How is hair and makeup handled? I've always wanted to know who pays for the dinners when you guys all go out to the vacations and the dinners. Who pays?
That's production.
Good, girl. I would order everything. I'm like, I'll have 2 steaks, please.
No,
you
you
never
don't
end
get
up
a chance to
eating
eat.
anything.
Because you're
Yeah,
talking and fighting and.
Are we talking? Is that what you see happening?
I
Well,
love
that's
it.
fine.
I love it though. Your production paid for it. Ours made us pay for it. And we never would eat the food, so it was sort of like, okay, we're done with that. We'll order French fries.
I think there was like the first couple of seasons we did. I think they figured it out that yours was around our time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know that things at Bravo
Yeah.
have changed, and I think Nene Leakes spearheaded a lot of those changes.
I mean, I
in terms of-
can't speak highly enough about Bravo. That's my home. That's my network. It's NBC. It's Bravo, and you just don't bite the hand that feeds
Well,
you.
and the Housewives.
And as far as production, the same
Yeah.
thing.
They take good care of you guys.
They do.
Really
They
good
really,
care.
really
You
do.
guys are-
I
are-
just
are
think
stars.
some of the bitches we work with are pretty shady.
Do you watch the show?
I try not to.
But
I send it to Brandon to watch it for me.
Because you still have to write on the blogs, you have to know what's going on. I would want to watch just to see how
I gotta
they
know because
edit
I'm
it.
always getting interviewed about this
Well,
stuff.
right.
So I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay. But before the reunion, I do try to watch everything because I think it's important, especially me as a friend, to know what's going on. I mean, I want my throne back.
Before
know?
reunion, she did Watch What Happens Live.
The night before.
The night before. And
2 years in a row now.
Then had to go back to the hotel, and I was with her, sit up and watch every episode till like 4 a.m. and have to go in and film reunion the next day. So everybody else got there earlier, but Danielle, we didn't even get there till like 1.
1 in the morning, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and you have to it must be weird for you to come to do hair, and come on set and be like, bitch, I know what you did to my friend, and to not, do you, do the stylists get
This was the first time in my career that I had somebody there just for
on your side.
me.
Oh,
no,
okay.
just for me.
Got it.
Otherwise, you got Glam running. Okay, packing up, going over there.
Yeah. Well,
he was my baby. I had an ally. They all had their husbands. I had an ally.
Yeah.
And what you just said though, I'm not a hairstylist. I'm not part of the show.
No.
I do not base judgment.
You need
and
to write
this
a
is,
book on that.
This is what happened.
They are not a part of the show. They need to relax.
And this is what happened previously with a lot of people. I think that they get involved in the storyline. They get involved with what's going on with them. My opinions and decisions are based on what people do to me and my own experiences.
So
if she's having a story or a fight with somebody else, I'm not a part of it. If you ask me to do your hair, I'll do your hair, but I will not. When the other person drags me into it, that's when I'm like, okay, no, this is not. This person doesn't know the boundaries of this, because I keep very clear boundaries.
But they do. They try to bring him in, but he's not going to do that.
He's
the first person that's ever done that for me or for anybody. I don't think it's just me. I think that's his morals.
He's a true
and his
professional. I've
standards.
seen him at work, and I've seen you out at
And not
at
for
Pop
nothing.
on a Sunday,
Right.
and
He
you're
makes you
always
look
a professional.
super banging
Well,
hot.
and I also think that it helps that I've had my own show.
You
I
know
know
what
what
that
these people
stress
are
is
going
like.
through,
Yeah.
and we filmed for 1.5 years.
That's a process, yeah.
That's
During
a
your
long
first
time.
year of marriage, by the way, which is rocky, even in the best situation.
Really? You're talking to me?
Well, girl. It's all a dress rehearsal, Danielle. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
But
20 times, really 20 times.
Oh my Lord.
20 more if I find it.
I feel bad for the next guy that proposes to you. That's got to be one hell of a proposal, by the way.
Right?
It's got to be something spectacular.
Everything needs to be big
and
with this man.
It needs to be a
Big wallet,
really
big-
big ring, so if I need to sell it, I can actually pay the attorneys this time.
But going back to the stylists, I know a lot of the stylists involved sometimes are on their own celebrity path. They're trying to take as many behind the scenes selfies in a weird way. Like when I see your behind the scenes stuff, and you guys have posted a lot of stuff together, it's fun because it's part of the fun journey and the
He
job.
makes me look hot.
Well, you are a hot girl.
And I'm out as a friend. I don't invite myself.
Oh, no,
you
I
know.
make sure I'm not going without him.
Yeah,
But there's some stylists, and they're like, I need to get this selfie with the cast so I can hashtag everybody and be famous. They're on their own
No, he
career.
takes
It's like
it
your
with me.
job. Yeah,
He takes it with me.
right.
No.
Or my friends that we're hanging out with. I brought him all the way in with my friendship with Teresa, and Rosanna's her best friend.
Oh my God,
she
love
lives here,
Teresa's
but Rosanna
best
was
friend.
my
Yeah.
neighbor in Wayne when this whole thing happened, and her and Teresa, she wasn't allowed to really talk to me.
It's funny
But
how
now
everything
we're
comes
all
full circle.
so
This world
close.
is so small.
That's why I keep putting up #3 Italians.
Yeah.
Because we really are just 3 Italians. So we're always going to come back together. Word up to the rest of the girls that are not Italian. Stop trying to come between. Not happening.
Okay.
We guineas stick together.
I got a lot of emails. We loved watching Watch What Happens Live. I remember the first time you came back on Watch What Happens Live.
She was the first.
I was the
first
one
one ever on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then they announced your comeback. I mean, I literally just about wet my pants. The last time you were on is really funny. You were on with Lindsay Lohan. We have some pictures. Both
her
you
mother
girls
was calling
look.
me.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's funny.
Dina was texting before the whole time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Both you ladies looked gorgeous. You know, it's so funny. We've been doing a lot of reality episodes. Next week we have DJ Ryan Kenny, who was in Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club. He's coming on next week to talk about his experience. But I guess it was a fun evening. But some of the reports were like, Lindsay was so excited to meet you. And then there was like this big entourage that she walked in with, and like she didn't know what was going on. What was that evening like sharing Watch What Happens Live with Lindsay Lohan?
I had restrictions on what I could talk about, so she took the housewife seat. There's a lot of people that have asked why I wasn't sitting next to Andy.
Yeah. Or
Not
why
to
you
diss
weren't
me,
saying much, or
but-
Andy was protecting.
But it was just to protect me. And the situation was confirmed by the attorneys, my attorneys, all attorneys, like
the
we just
day
had to be
before, 2
very
days
quiet. No,
before,
it was
yeah.
that
Yeah,
day. I was in
where you were like,
court. Yeah.
she could not talk about.
Here's the thing.
I could never do that 'cause I
Lindsay
have such a
sat
big mouth.
there, and thank God for her because she really stepped up. She did her like housewife duty when she was dysfunctional, like I would have been. But she was great at it. She was so cute and sweet, and she was really nice to me.
And I loved her dress with the little
Just
cigarette.
gorgeous. Oh, yeah.
They were little old-fashioned
it was
cigarette
so
cases
cute.
for
She's
pockets
sweet,
to
and
open.
I'm really
It's like
good
a Betty
friends with.
Davis type.
And I'm very good friends with her mom. For many,
You guys
many
need
years.
your own reality show. Can you imagine?
I can.
Yeah. I definitely can.
I can see it Netflix High.
She needs to go to. I think Dina invited her to Dubai.
Oh, we're
So
going to
I
Dubai.
think
So
that
she's at a celebrity
She needs
Big
to
Brother.
like film the whole thing.
Yeah, tell Bravo.
Well, I'm just
Right.
working on getting the private jet lined up first, and then
have Bravo do it. I would watch that for 1,000 years.
Right.
And you know, talking about this, just a weird circle of events. I know, you were on All My Children.
I was.
You were there. So the
with Josh Duhamel's first scene ever on the small screen.
Oh, girl.
Ever.
Any screen he's on is big screen. He is so handsome. But I
You
love
ain't
that you were on
kidding.
All My Children. The first part of the show was with Carly Gibson. Her very first TV acting job was on All My Children. So it's weird that two women that are kicking ass on TV right now on All My Children. Let's talk about your acting career. Now, I know in LA, there was some things on Instagram that you've alluded to. I saw your picture today with Chloe. Is there something acting Hollywood-wise that we should know about that you're able to talk about?
Well, I am SAG, AFTRA, Equity, and AEA. I've been a part of this industry since I was 9 years old with the New York Ballet. And also moving into, not that I was like the lead in anything, I was just a sugar plum fairy, but I was serious about ballet. And 19 years I was a ballerina. And at the age of 17, I signed with Ford. Dated multiple celebrities, didn't know what I was doing, but I dated Prince and Apollonia at the same time.
I love that. It's so good.
And then
I'm never washing that glass.
and then okay. and I've written about these things, and it's so funny how everyone's like, okay, we'll skip over that part of her life. It was a big part of what made me who I am in the industry. This is my industry, my community. The gay community is my fucking community. I'm
loved you
sorry
since
if I
day
could-
one, girl.
No, I've marched in 9 prides in stilettos before my rheumatoid arthritis went into stage 3. I'm happy to do that, but I can ride in the car this time. Yes, and just do the
Yes.
But back to this, I absolutely adore everything about this business, and I've never punched a time card in my life. And what else can I do right now but reality TV, or go back to what it is that I was meant to do, and that's scripted, and maybe do both at the same time. I'm trying to do as much as I can.
I think she needs to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Uh,
She's
yeah.
a dancer.
Well, yeah.
And I really would love to bring national attention to rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, it's really a debilitating disease. I'm doing it without medication. Well, but anyway, you know, and CBDs and making things like accessible to people so we can avoid like the medication that they had me on. In season 8, I was bloated a little bit. That was from doing like chemotherapy and things for RA that was really making my body expand, and I didn't know what to do with it. Even though it wasn't taking away all the pain, it was enough, but it was anesthetizing me. And then I went, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. I'm going to dance. I'm going to move. Body in motion stays in motion.
Yeah.
I'm at stage 3, and I think I have more mobility in my body than anyone the doctors have seen so far. So I'm keeping a handle on it my best way. I get injections into my joints every 10 days. The muscular and spine disease in Englewood, they're very good to me. Dr. Simhe and Dr. Horowitz and Dr. Popowitz. Amazing group, 177 Dean Street in Englewood, New Jersey. But they have 3 other offices throughout the tri-state area. And I just have to say, if anyone is in pain, think of something different that you can do to keep your mind off of it. It's not going to cure it. What it's going to do is make it easier for you to get up and keep moving. Because if you stop moving, you're done. That's my best advice. So back to the acting. This is something that I'm also doing to keep in motion. And it's my passion, and I love it. And I would love anything to do with any part, a speaking part, in anything. I'll start small. I don't care. I've been around television cameras for my entire life. I graduated Tisch Academy. There's so many things. I did go to
I didn't
Tisch.
know that.
There are so many things about me people don't know. But what we were doing the other day, which was yesterday, is Teresa and I are going to announce what it was very soon.
Well, I think you can talk about it.
We can talk about it, but we can't talk about the
What-
content
the
of
content.
it. So we filmed a promo for Greta.
Right. I
Yes.
did know that.
Have you seen the preview?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's like
I haven't
single
seen
white
it.
female meets.
Amazing.
Yeah, like.
Amazing.
Oh, so you guys are gonna do
Silence of the Lambs. It's like
We're
that
doing
kind of
the
movie.
pro-
Yeah.
It's going to run in all the theaters, our
Yeah.
promo. So
And I
it's
did the hair.
Teresa-
Ah! My God, you guys. Fans are going to shit themselves. The other housewives are going to be like, what about me? Too bad.
Well,
Back
you weren't
off.
there from the beginning,
And Chloe,
bitches, so.
Chloe loves.
She
Oh, I could tell
FaceTimed-
from that
She
picture.
FaceTimed with
She's
my
so
daughter.
fun. She's gorgeous.
And she even said on Watch What Happens Live, she's like, I love Teresa and Danielle, and she grew up with their kids.
That's what
So
she told me,
yeah.
and Jillian, my daughter,
Yeah.
on FaceTime yesterday. My daughter was braiding her hair for the gym. She's like, "What, Mom?" I go, "Open your eyes." She goes, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" And Chloe was doing the same thing. She was like, "Hi, I love you. I've
She
watched
could have
you
not
since."
been
Yeah.
more
She was so
cute
sweet.
and
So they both really grew up fans of one
Yeah.
another because Chloe's been at this since she was 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a different end of it. But you know, it all balances out. And I've been a part of this industry my whole life.
I can't
I'm
wait
not going
for everyone
anywhere.
to see what they did. it's
Iconic.
Oh my God, you
Yeah.
guys. I'm really, really, really excited. When it comes out, I'm sure we'll play it here on the show.
I'm sure you will. But then we went to someplace even more fun afterwards, the Lego experience.
I haven't been to that
it
yet.
was cute. It was like
And they
Yeah.
did a couple things for us for the new, I think it was like the new Lego
the new
movie.
Lego
So
movie.
yeah.
It's sort
Yeah.
of like the pop up, the little
Yeah.
Instagram pop up for.
Yeah, they put those little, it's a pop-up
Yeah.
thing. But oh my God, I'll show you after. So funny.
The videos
Teresa
are
and
so
I.
We're having too much
cute.
fun
We're in
together.
a
Like,
hi-
I'm so
we're
jealous.
in a high heels on turntables spinning while we're dancing.
It's so good.
And they're like, you could take your heels off. We're like,
no.
not yet. Crazy. The minute we were done, those shoes were off.
Daniel, do you think the show truly portrays who you really are?
Absolutely not. There's so many layers to me, and it's controlled.
What do they
But
get right? What do they get wrong?
They get right most of what they show. They get wrong of what they don't.
That's a really good way to put it. Because they have to edit you into a character, so to speak.
They don't really have to. I am that character. It's okay.
But you know, and I think
But there's other layers to me.
what they do is take facets of your personality and they condense it, so you become this condensed version of where you
hyper
what you
version
need
of
to
who you
be.
are,
So you know, whether like say you're the funny guy, it's going to be all your funny moments condensed. It's still your funny moments, but it's the extreme versions of them. Or if you're a depressed person or a quiet person, so it's like we all have all of those characteristics to our personality. It's just where do you fit in? And I have to say, Danielle, I love where you fit in. I think the show, me and Craig watch it, and honest to God, when you're not on there, I'm bored.
I'm telling you,
I
I had
am
to fast
literally
forward the
bored.
parts. I'm
Yeah,
like, what
and
the
that's
heck?
not because I know you.
I
that
know, and
that
I
is as a
appreciate
viewer.
that.
It's
Yes.
like
so much. But I've heard that, and it doesn't minimize. It actually just validates. I've heard from so many of the viewers
It's
that
so
like
true.
I don't
Yeah.
even
So
like
true.
you, Danielle, but I can't wait for you to get on the screen. But I still hate you, girl.
and that
And I'm
that's
like,
where,
all right, I didn't ask, but thank you.
You know,
Thanks
Andy
for the
Cohen said
information.
once, he was like, a good housewife is someone that people love to hate or love to love. They can't just hate you. And I think you
They
people,
hate to love me and love to hate me.
But see,
That's what they do.
But you
There's
need
an
that,
emotional
a
connection, but it has to happen sincerely. Some housewives
Yeah.
try to be the one that people love to hate, and if it's not done sincerely, or if they don't have the personality to actually back it up, it falls flat.
And we can think
Jackie
of
Goldslayer.
but we can think of a lot of people that it's contrived, and
Yes.
it ends up being like, well, okay, you know, now you're just a mean bitch. You're not somebody that is like
Margaret Joseph.
Okay, real fast, and then we have to wrap up the show, and I know you have to jump on a plane. Andy Cohen's bridal shower was a huge event. I didn't know that Vicky Gunvalson actually hosted it because it looked like Lisa
Her and
Rinna had
Kyle.
thrown it.
It was
Yeah.
Kyle and Vicky.
Okay.
But I have to be honest with you, like Vicky is. Don't say anything bad about her. I love her so much.
Well, she's from. I was born and raised in OC.
She's my
she
girl.
sells her insurance. She goes to the mixers.
No,
I mean,
she's
she
genuinely
is. She's a hardworking, and she's an OG too.
compassionate, Sweet. Yes, she is. No, she's the OG of the OGs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kiss her ring.
But real fast, there was so many personalities. That staff must have so many stories from that day at the Palm. Who were the biggest divas in terms of the housewife that were acting like divas and were not just like having like a fun time?
I don't see any of that.
Okay, good.
Everyone left it outside because it was all about daddy.
Yeah,
It really was. No, I got to be honest with you. It was. We used to have Bravo Celebrity events that would shut down city blocks in Manhattan, then out here in LA too. That was back in the day. None of you new bitches know any of this shit. But they would make us feel like this was our party. This was the first time since those days that the housewives actually got to have like a turn-up all together, and it was fun.
It was unbelievable.
And everyone's energy was amazing.
Lisa Rinna was
That's
giving
really
me
good.
life on
Oh
her.
no, she is Lisa.
story.
Lisa for
Yeah,
the
but
win.
she was on the
she
table.
was the win.
Yeah, she
Win.
made sure that those clips were released to all the outlets too.
She didn't have problems with that. We all helped.
Well, yeah.
She was hot.
Yeah, she's always hot.
No,
And
that
talk
was
about a
hot.
good promoter. She's a good promoter. She's a good promoter. But it was like the Avengers movie, like where it's like
Come on,
all
you're talking
the
about soap
favorite
operas
heroes.
now. Like
Yeah.
she's my
Yeah.
soap.
Yeah.
girl.
I love that. It was like the
It was.
Avengers.
It was like, and who's next?
It's
And
like,
from
oh,
that genre,
and this superhero.
personalities you never expected, like to see Sonia Morgan dancing next to Cynthia.
Oh, did you see Andy's feed about Sonia and I? We both stood there with our faces on and our little phones in front of us. He goes, "These two will get arrested tonight."
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I'll go look.
Oh, and Darren Karp. Darren has done the show
I
a
love
couple of times.
Darren.
I love her, and her feats were great. Okay, we have to end the show because you have to jump on a plane. Real fast, we end the show with rapid fire. So I'm going to give you rapid fire questions, and boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
You're stuck on an island and need 3 fellow housewives to survive from any housewife franchise. Who are they? Remember, not ones you like, but ones that you need to survive.
Teresa, Dolores, and Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, that was fast. Lisa, to help you survive on an island?
She's got the jet.
I like that one. That one's okay. Your closet is on fire. You can pull one item from your closet to save. What is it?
Myself.
Well, no. Besides that,
always in
Danielle.
Always in the
She's so like
closet.
logical. She's good at this. But like a.
My first Chanel bag.
Yes, I love that. You always have room for Chanel. Female celebrity you would dip your toes back into the lady pond for.
Oh, Charlize Theron.
The heartbeat. Except I just saw Tully. Whew.
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay. I could totally see that. That's a good coupling. There'd be another single there, too.
Beautiful.
What movie that came out in the last year would you have wanted to be cast in?
Movie. Oh my God, I haven't watched a movie. Birdcage.
Bird
Bird Box.
Bird Box. Yes.
Yes. Bird Box.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I love how Sarah Paulson was in it. She's in everything. Can she ever like sleep?
Everything.
Like just this
She's
woman
like in the
sleep?
new
She
movie
needs no
Glass.
sleep.
She's in
Right?
Glass.
Yeah.
She's like in a Centrum commercial. She's like, I'm Sarah Paulson. Vitamins.
She's
Okay.
everywhere.
What would Danielle season 9 say to Danielle season 1?
Don't leave. It's about to get good.
Oh. I'm wondering, though, if you would have had as much impact in the last couple of seasons if you wouldn't have left.
I would have. Even more so. I'd be pounding those bitches into the pavement. I'll give you a star.
I love it. Danielle, tell our viewers and listeners where they can find you and follow you.
You can find me on Instagram mainly, but I do check everything. It's Danielle _Staub, and the same thing for Twitter.
And that's STAUB.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys know. And then Facebook, I have a fan page.